All right, shalom, 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 shalom. Most High bless, Most High bless. How everybody out there doing? I know y'all used to seeing us open up with music and stuff like that, but this message can't wait right here, right? The brothers we supposed to came on, I believe. Excuse me, was it 2 days ago? I believe it was, or the following week. Yeah, it was last week, I believe it was.
Right.
And you know, it was just a miscommunication. And but we're here now. So without further ado, I want to introduce y'all dear brother, man, that I met in Chicago on our dear brother Prince Asiel travel back home, his transition. And it was a beautiful thing to meet certain brothers. And I met this brother here, and the warmth that everybody gave us there, you know, considering that we are so-called Messianic, right? But we believe, you know, in our people, love our people at the end of the day. And talking to this brother, the brother was sharp, by the way, right? The brother was sharp, by the way. When I met him, I said, man, yeah, this is an Israelite for real. You know how we do, right? So, the brother, you know, we started talking, had a nice conversation, and that brother acted like he been knowing me my whole life. Okay, my whole life. I was like, wow, we're just talking, you know, and it's a different feel from certain organizations, but I love everybody. But they gave me a familyhood and love, man, and I really appreciate that. And I asked him only one time, you know, I said, can you come to the show for an interview? And man, he looked at me like, you don't have to ask me nothing. I'm there. So, hey, most of you brother, welcome to our F.O.P.E panel for our people edification. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing wonderful. Plus, I just want to tell you, I like the title of the show because that's where we got to go. Edification.
That's right.
Not education, but edification.
That's right. Edification.
What education does.
That's right.
And we need to edify it, you know, and put it in its proper context so that we can achieve the things that we say we want to achieve. So just having said that, I appreciate you thinking about a brother and inviting me on the show. And yes, it was warm. And the reason why it was warm is because some of us have resolved that we're all the same people. And that was interesting because I was talking to your brother, Jabbar. That was Jabbar?
Yes, sir. Jabbar.
I'm going to let how much family we are. Because when you called, when you went off, we were talking about something that took place. Go ahead, Jabbar.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you know, we was just having a little chit chat. Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
I can't hear.
Okay, the sounds kind of changed all of a sudden.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Okay, testing.
Sounds good to
okay.
Over here.
Yeah, we had a problem.
Okay, we hear you. We hear you. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? We can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, sir. Yep. We sure can.
Hear now? Hello.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Loud and
yeah, I can hear, but wow.
Hey, this is what you do. If you can hear us, this is what you do. I don't know if you can do. Go out, and then come back.
Say that again.
Go out the room and come back in. Leave and then come back. You got a piece of paper, Jabbar?
I do actually. Yes.
Yeah. Write that on there for him. I'm gonna try to find one myself.
Oh, you know what? It looks like he just exited right now. So
okay.
Yeah, I think he might be back with us shortly.
Yeah, see here. The link. Shalom, mighty Hebrew.
Shalom.
We don't see nobody on here. I don't think YouTube, man, they be messing with us, boy. God, dog.
Yeah, they do.
They be messing with us, man. Hey, this is, what room is this? What channel is this on, the bar?
This is F.O.P.E, our main channel.
Okay.
Yeah. For our people's edification. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything you want to talk about to wait till our brother get back here? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I just want to say this. The scriptures talk about gather yourself together, O nation, not desire. It didn't say, O camp, right? Or whatever your Israelite congregation is. It said, O nation, because the Most High is dealing with us as a nation. So it's a beautiful thing for us, Israel, to begin to assemble together regardless of doctrinal differences, right? We all being oppressed as a nation. So we need to find support mechanisms and develop support mechanisms of us to benefit ourselves as a nation and not divide and be so fractured and splintered. So I want to just commend you, Elder Qanath, for this interview, because I think that this interview is the beginning of achieving that kind of objective.
Hallelujah. Well spoken. Well spoken. This is why, of course. Okay, I think that's him coming back.
Oh, praise God.
Yeah, that point must have been real important because.
Okay, there we go. Hey, so, either today or tomorrow, we will get this interview done.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, we ain't gonna stop till we do it.
That's right.
So what I was referring to was we had a conversation, and he said he was from the house of David, right?
Yeah, I was saying that I went to Dimona with the house of David.
With the house of David. Yep. Okay, the beauty of that, I was telling them, that's we all one family, because the house of David, they were the ones who were pushing the information from Oscar Goldberg. And if y'all remember Oscar Goldberg, he was the German scientist and philosopher, intellect, who put out the information that when you see black people returning to the Holy Land, that would be the sign of the Messianic era. So I told him I used to use that quote off of the House of David website. And so he goes with the House of David, and then but let me show you how far it goes. How far it goes is that Oscar Goldberg, the German, right, wrote a book in 1924 called The Reality of the Hebrews. And it was about us. So what happened is he had a student, his name was Harry Dorfield, who contacted us in the late 70s and said that we were the people Oscar Goldberg was talking about from 1924, right? And so we asked him, we said, well, when can we meet? And he said, well, it's not that time yet, but we just wanted you all to know that we understand who you are. And at an appointed time, we'll be able to speak to all of that. Now, the irony was that his partner was in the Third Reich. He was a Nazi.
Wow.
And he delivered the message from Oscar Goldberg, right? So now I see Prince Landine on there. How you doing, brother?
Shalom, Prince Dr. Sar Amiel. I'm over here in Tanzania. I just got back from Dimona.
That's what I'm saying. That's what time it is, right?
Yeah, you know I live in Tanzania. Well, I already know you know I'm here in Tanzania.
Hey, I know y'all trouncing and treading. That's what's supposed to happen. What was supposed to happen is that the people of Yah were supposed to stretch out all over the planet, because how we were going to influence the world if we ain't moving around?
The scripture talks about how a traveler has a lot of wisdom, so for sure.
Absolutely.
I heard you was coming on here, Nasi, so I said, Oh man, my senior elder and senior prince gonna be on there. So you know what I mean? I gotta be on there with you, making better world. You know what I mean? I was telling Elder Qanath, I'm in the same body politic with you, but you the senior prince.
Yes, sir.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
No doubt.
It's all family.
Hey, look, let me
That's
say
what
this.
I'm saying. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
No,
So
you said you wanted to say something.
when I met the brother in Chicago, man, it was something about him, right? I said, "Hey, this brother feel like we grew up together." So I said, "Where you from, brother?" And this brother is from the same city that I'm from. We was talking about certain neighborhoods. Oh, I'm like, this is crazy the whole time. Go ahead, Doc.
The DMV, baby, the DMV.
That's right.
DM.
That's right.
For sure.
Wait, look.
Hey, look.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I thought somebody was going to say something. Okay, so I just want to finish this point because it's really important that our people understand that the world knows who we are. But those who have been controlling the world have been doing everything they could and everything they can to interfere with our work. We were purposed by the Creator to do what we're doing in this day and time, to be here for everybody, to help edify all of our people. And we're saying all of our people, all the disenfranchised people on the face of the earth, man, because these people care nothing about human life. And so we were born with purpose. When they say, y'all say I knew you from the womb, right?
That's right.
That means you was already prepared.
That's right.
That means, so all of us who have been prepared, we are moving closer to each other, which is the sign that the era that Oscar Goldberg was talking about is on us right now. So I was telling them, Prince Landine, that I met a brother named a Jewish brother who teaches at UIC Urbana, religious studies and some other things. And I met him on the internet, and because he was doing a treatment on Oscar Goldberg in his book. His initial book was called Bioengineering God. I was telling the brother earlier that, but that's a European thing because they think they can create everything, including God. But shortly after we began to have conversations. About 2 years later, he writes a book, and the book is called Transfinite Life.
Facts.
And I found out as a result, he couldn't use everlasting life, but you're gonna like this part right here. So for those 2 years, I found out that he was studying everything about us. Everything.
Facts.
And so he comes back and we reconnect, and then we begin to do radio shows and all kinds of things. And then so the thing about Oscar Goldberg was I kept telling everybody I need to have this relationship with Oscar Goldberg because Oscar Goldberg is key. He was brought up on charges in Weimar, Germany for his statement was he wanted to bring the God of Israel down into the affairs of men. And he knew that the Israelites were the key to everything, that the Hebrews were the key to everything. And we're talking about a spiritual reality. We're not talking about a religious reality. We're talking about a spiritual reality where men of spirit would get together and finally do the work. So Oscar Goldberg was really trying to give us an alley-oop. And I was telling them that the 4th chapter of his book is called The Reality of the Hebrews and Yahweh's Battle for the Earth.
Yeah, that's a good chapter right there. And speaking of that, man,
you could back up. I'm sorry, Prince. You could back up a little bit because we can actually see you. Yeah, right there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That way we can see.
Yeah, so we can see you. Not that who you talking about.
Prince, hold on, Prince, real quick, because I don't want to. I see you in the car, and I don't want to take too much. I'm gonna let everybody get a chance, but I just want to ask you 3 quick questions, and we can continue the dialogue, because I think it's important, like you said earlier, for our people edification, so they can know what's going on, right, in the political ring, also in the spiritual realm, and and things that we should be doing. So my first question I will ask you, what do you see as the so-called future for y'all's people?
Say that one more time.
What do you see in the future for our people right now? In the state we're in right now, how is our future looking?
I see us as a distinctly different civilization. Now, let me tell you why I'm saying that. We built a nation all the way to sovereignty. And then when I started thinking about how we were going to evolve, it dawned on me that being a nation was not enough, because our nation would still be under the prevailing civilization, right? So the only way for us to be really sovereign was to change our perspective and begin as a people to talk about the development of our own civilization. Now we can create distinction, but it's a responsibility. We're going to have to be responsible for everything. So all the skills that we've learned in captivity and all the work that all of us have done, and I like to reiterate all the work that all of us have done, because when you look at a war from a war perspective, there are different aspects. You got the Army, the Navy, the Marines. You got when I say war, you got to hear me. You got the CIA, you got the FBI. You know what I'm saying? The Interpol, MI5, CIA. I mean MI5, Mossad. That means that there are distinctly different players who are playing on the same team for the same outcome. Now, we have to come to terms with that. So I can't have a problem with the Nation of Islam. I can't have a problem with the more science. I can't have a problem with the Christian. Because what we're talking about is we are developing a heart-based civilization. We are developing a civilization who has moral underpinning, because the prevailing civilization doesn't even use morals. They don't care nothing about morals. But the thing about us is that we are evolved to the extent that we have morals. So we have empathy, we have sympathy, we have caring, we have sharing, we have all of those things based upon our morality. Their civilization is based upon immorality. That's why they can kill who they want to kill and do whatever they want to do. So in answer to your question, I see us as a distinctly different civilization operating on our own. Hallelujah. Now, when you come in, the beauty is, and understanding edification, right, is we used to say, when we built, when we started building the kingdom of Yah and centered in Demona and all of that, right, we used to say, first of all, we used to say a plane ride don't change nothing, which meant that whatever you left with, it was with you when you came, right? So what I'm saying is that when we started out, we looked like the hell we came out of. Because we was coming out of hell. Right. Now we have evolved and into the next level, which is civilization. As we begin to go forth, some of the things gonna look like the prevailing civilization, because nothing escapes the law of process. But those of us who have the understanding and the overstanding, now it is up to us to edify our people into civilization. Hallelujah. Into our Hallelujah. And the beauty of civilization is that civilizations absorb nations and tribes and peoples. Anybody can be in there. I'm not messing with your religion. I ain't messing with the kind of clothes you wear. I don't need to be worried about how you eat and all those things. Those are your personal things. What I'm focusing on, and I feel that we all need to be focusing on, is the commonality. We had an enemy. We had an enemy. And what we have done as a people, it shows that enemy can be defeated. First in our minds, and then in our ability to act according to our ideation to creation. And it's just a change of perspective. So instead of saying we're a nation, we say, hey, we're a civilization. So they're standing on their side. They're standing on their side with their civilization. We standing on our side. And nobody can stop us from doing this. That's the irony. Nobody can stop you. It doesn't mean, the word sabotage, right? It's actually a Latin word which means to set someone up to be interfered with. That's the whole Eurocentric culture. They interfere with everything. Everything. They leave no stone unturned so that they can sustain their hegemony. And I'm saying, in answer to your question, I see us as the prevailing civilization that we are right now. We just don't know.
Thanks so much. Before I say my last two questions, let me make a statement real quick. I got your number, and I got Prince Charlene Dean number. All those got numbers. Me and DeBar plan on coming to Israel real soon. In fact, he's about to go to Africa next month, right? So we plan on coming out there, building with our dear brothers and sisters out there, in the order of things, man, and do do whatever we can to unite. Here go my second question, because I listened to everything you said, but this next question I think is going to line into what you're saying. And the question goes like this: what are we lacking, and how do we address it?
We're only lacking a perspective, and some perspectives, but the main perspective is that we are all human. That's the perspective we should be operating from. Not whether we represent a religion or we represent a particular country or we are all human. And what Europeans have done is created a situation to steal people's humanity and convince the world that those who are downtrodden are not humans. And y'all know what I'm talking about, because I know I'm talking to intellects and minds on this. That's why I'm talking the way I'm talking, because it's upon us to edify the situation. Everything is perspective. Everything is perspective, and everything is sentiment. The sentiment prevailing on the planet at this particular point in time is Hebrewism. But what people don't understand is that anybody can be a Hebrew based upon the criteria of being Hebrew, elevating from one level of consciousness to another, one level of activity to a higher, more benevolent, active state. So in that, the reality is we have more humans in this. How could you say, involved in the great work? We just haven't connected with them. So we have to go back to the very basics. The basic is we are human. And those who do not demonstrate morality are of another ilk. What we want to do is unite all of our people who have the moral underpinning. And that's what it's going to take. The second thing is communication. We need to communicate in spite of what our differences are. We need to communicate in spite of the culture that we represent. We need to communicate, because at the end of the day, it's about welfare. It's about your own personal welfare, personal welfare of your people, eating, you understand, food, shelter, clothing. And those don't come in colors. They don't come in religion. These are the basic realities that human beings should be thriving on going into perpetuity. So I'm saying, I keep saying perspective, and then sentiment. We got to have that sentiment. Now, something interesting happened, and we all know about Black Lives Matter. So we went through a process in Black Lives Matter. Now, whatever they say about Black Lives Matter, it was at the forefront, and it helped usher in the sentiment of a better world, of the need for a better world. And at a point, you had all kinds of people in the street saying they wanted something different. They wanted something new. They didn't want the same old regime and the same old madness that has continued to develop a non-resilient civilization. So, in answer to your question, the reality is we gotta see ourselves as human first, connecting with other humans based upon morals and care and love, not just for those that are connected to us, but to have that love for humanity itself, because everybody's working to survive this thing. And we moved the decimal points a little bit, you know what I'm saying, to the extent that we ain't surviving no more. We into thriving. And that's why when you see us, we're excited. We're excited to see you. I was excited to see you. Hey, and feel the brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're just excited because what would a free man sound like and look like? It would sound and look like us.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So that's my answer to that.
I do have another question, but I will let my brothers join in real quick. You know, so most High bless you, Prince, the bar. You know, yeah, let's have a conversation. I don't know how much time the Prince had, but thank you again for blessings. Go ahead, Prince Alini, or the bar.
I just wanted to say that person, Prince Dr. Sar Amiel, you was talking about, that was dealing with Oscar Goldberg's work, The Reality of the Hebrews. I just organized the new State of the World Forum where, you know, he was a participant. The one, because he broke down how he met communicated with you and the late Shot Greer, Prince Asiel. And it's funny that we're talking about this man, and I just finished doing the presentation with that same man, you know, and he was going into his book about, you know, speaking about Oscar Goldberg and Harry Dorfield, and how y'all was in communication with Harry Dorfield and you know, I believe like starting around 1972, 74, around that. I have a question for you, Nasi. When you first came in contact with the reality of the Hebrews and the impact that Oscar Goldberg was saying that the coming of the Messianic age, we would recognize it when we seen the black man from America go into the promised land. At that time, when you read that information, what was the impact that had on your life? And at the same time, the cause of your movement, how was that?
Oh, look, when it hit me, I had been looking. Matter of fact, I don't know if you remember, about 30 years ago, I told Prince, I said, it's something about this German. And I told him, I said, I'm going to hunt him down and find out who he is, where he come from, whatever, only to find out he's everywhere.
Oh, yeah. See that?
If you use the word Deutsch, you talking about the German. If you use the word French, you talking about the German. If you use the word anything that got the European, Italian, those are the Saxons. You know what I'm saying? The Saxons have been ruling the planet. Matter of fact, 90% of the names in the congressional record are German. It was Germans who constructed the Constitution of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are Nazis, and then there are Germans who, like us, wanted a better world. The thing about Oscar Goldberg is he had a whole constituency. Y'all remember when Obama went to Germany and he received the ovation at the venue?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even know why he got an ovation. But that's because Oscar Goldberg had already told them that the black man was the Messiah.
Mm.
And so when he got there were people waiting to see this black man who was president, who had become the president of the United States. Now, I'm saying he certainly knew less about it than we did, but we understood the spirit of it. But now everybody can know why they gave him the ovation. They gave him the ovation because they thought that the Messiah had come to Germany.
And one more question, and then I'm let I don't debar. Rumor has it, is it true that the late Prince Dr. Shaliak spent almost a fortune looking for that man, Oscar Goldberg?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Wow. Because he was, look, Prince Shaliak was the reason for the season. I mean, we had Elder Bowie, you had Ben-Ami who came along later, but it was a lot of people involved before. I mean, you had the Hebrews from the West, you had the Hebrews from the South. It was a lot of people involved in this movement. And a lot of times, I wrote this in my book, if you use, and I'm talking to all our people in America, if you use 6 or 7 degrees of separation, somebody in your family took part in the development of the nation that we built in Israel. And we had to come to terms with that. And when we left out here, we had all kinds of people. We wasn't even vetting people like that. We just took everybody. Later on, we found out, that we put out the net. We got some octopuses, we got some sharks and all like that. But the bulk of the people were good fish. You know what I'm saying? So Nazi Shaliak was the intellect that spurred us to understand people like Oscar Goldberg. And he had put it on my heart so hard that when the brother said he went to Israel with the what was the name of the people?
The House of David.
House of David.
The House of David. The House of David was the one pushing the Oscar Goldberg utterance. And I used to go to the House of David and pull it up to show people, but they wind up going to Israel too. What I'm saying is, if we look and we feel, we'd understand that we're already winning.
Yep.
Okay.
We wasn't supposed to make it to the Holy Land.
Okay. Talk about it.
That's what the MI5, CIA, Interpol, the Postal Service, Mossad, you got Homeland Security. We wasn't supposed to make it into Israel. Their job was to keep us from getting there, but they called themselves being slick. And I'm gonna tell you, the reality was that they didn't want to martyr us because Hebrews was growing. So they wanted to stop us from getting in, but they said, "Hey, ain't no point in killing no Hebrews because too many of them guys." You know what I'm saying? They use what you call in the military psyops.
Okay.
So in psyops, the reality is infiltration and disruption, which we had to deal with the whole 60-some years, man. I mean, after a while, it made us really want to vet people after that. Because some of the very people that we call, leaders, and we love them and all that kind of stuff, But I ain't telling y'all nothing you don't know. It isn't happening. Islam, Marcus Garvey, you know what I'm saying? Malcolm King. It done happened to all of us.
Okay.
This PSYOPs program.
And it sure look like it happened up in Hebrew Israelite culture. Oh no, you dropped again.
Yep.
So let's chat amongst
And
ourselves so you come back on.
And Elder Qanath, so you'll know, Prince Amiel was actually the right-hand man of the late Prince Asiel. I mean, that was, they were like, if you seen Nasi Asiel, bang, you seen Prince Amiel. So I remember you were saying, Dag, you know, because you remember Prince Asiel supposed to came on the show, but things happened. So Prince Asiel is on the show through Prince Amiel. That was his right-hand man.
Came.
You know what I'm saying? So
it's fun. I'm glad you brought that up because I'm sorry, wait the bar. You've been quiet for a second. Wait the bar. I'm bad.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw a few things in there. So I want to say, first of all, man, like all praise to Yahawashi Yahawashi. Shout out to Weezy One Love, Timothy, everybody, the F.O.P.E family out there. Nothing but love to everybody. But I want to say big shout out, man, to the Demona camp. You know, that's what we refer to y'all as, Demona camp.
Y'all call us the Demona camp.
Yeah.
But you know, that's just nomenclature that people could get down with, you know, in this Hebrew movement. But but I you know, I just want to camp. Yeah, we about to get to that. we already. So here's the interesting thing, man. Why I say shout out, because number one, Demona, you talk about the brothers in that movement are very intellectual, very sound and precise with just rightly dividing the scriptures. Okay. And then also when you look at the network they created, I mean, Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown came to Israel because of the spirit that's on these men in Demona. You know what I'm saying? So that's a heavy accomplishment. And I'm gonna tell you this, y'all. You know, a lot of us was mesmerized by One West, but One West ain't got nothing on Demona. I'm gonna keep it 100. You know, now there's some doctrinal things, but listen, when you read Zechariah chapter 2, verse 1 about gathering yourself together, O nation that not desire, or Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1, the doctrinal stuff is going to be figured out, and the main job who has that job is the Ha Mashayach. Now we could deal with that, you know, on a later front, but the bottom line is those things will be worked out. But if you look at our people as a whole, we need to be thinking on a bigger level, on a nation or a collective level, not on an individual or your organizational level. We need to think, how can we get our people to a better reality than what we got right now? So I got to give Demona, you know, shout out right there. The last thing I'm gonna say, and I hope the elder can come back on, but you know, I wanted to understand.
Hold that thought. Put the link back in the room. Where's one? Whoever got a wrench, put the link back in the room for me. Go ahead.
Con. So I wanted to, you know, and maybe Mighty Hebrew, you could jump in on this one, man. Just understanding the history of how everything evolved. You know, I know the stories about, and you know, in the 60s, 70s, and stuff like that. But even before then, like, how did the spirit get on y'all to do something like this? And the reason why there's admiration and there's a lot of support is because no other Israelite body has been able to do the same thing that y'all have done. So we got to tip our hat off to y'all. You know what I'm saying? We got to tip our hat off to y'all on that level. So go ahead, Mighty.
Well, with the elders, with the information the elders gave to me, the late Nasi Asiel, Prince Sar Amiel, directly Ben Ami himself, there was a Hebrew community on the south side of Chicago known as the Betsy Hebrew Culture Center. Originally, Ben Ami was known at the time Ben Carter. He was learned by a man by the name of the late Zaquin Eliyahu Bowie. And you also had other community leaders such as Rabbi Reuben, Rabbi Knight, these different people, they came together and taught Ben Ami, and then Ben Ami started teaching a man by the name of Archie, who later became known as Nasi Gabriel or Nasi Gabriel Hagador, who wrote the book, The Impregnable People. Then once he started teaching him, they started in a house, which they originally started in Nasi Gabriel's house or his bait. Then from there, it moved to like a storefront, and they became known as Abeta Hebrew Culture Center. So one day in class, you know, because Ben Ami was very inquisitive. He was a young, handsome young man, very inquisitive, you know. And one day he just rose his hand up and he said, if we the Hebrews and if Israel is our land, then why we just don't go back? Once he said that, by the way of his 45-second vision, everything else just started to trickle down. Now, in the process of that, it became a division within Abeta Hebrew Culture Center. You had mainly the younger generation split from the older generation, even though you had some older people with the younger generation. The younger generation was like us. At our time now, they had their time like, look, we tied, you know what I mean, Mr. Charlie on our neck, you know, thus. So we going to leave from the confines of America. So what they did was, because at first, they didn't know where to go. Our forefathers and foremothers in the 60s, they didn't know where they wanted to go in Africa, but they knew they had to go back to Israel. So what they did was the same trailway that we came to America from West Africa from Israel was the same way we returned. So we're looking through Ezekiel, the book of Ezekiel, and different pronostications to see that. And the eagle with great wings for us became the, you know, the plane. So we wind up going first into Liberia. The reason why we picked Liberia, because in 1822 is when ex-slaves helped to establish what we know today as Liberia, and they're known today as Liberia Americans. So we wound up going 20 miles outside of Monrovia, Liberia, for 2.5 years to break the niggitudes, which we define as the wilderness of the people. As time went on, over 400 people left from the confines of Chicago, Detroit, DC, Philadelphia, and the New York areas. But they were mainly concentrated in Chicago and Detroit. So we wind up leaving. Half returned and didn't even make it to Israel. And then in 1969, the first 39 members from the community in Liberia went into Israel. The first person to be dropped off was the late Prince Keskiah, who, by the way, of Ben Ami. He wound up going into the kibbutz and learning Hebrew and things like that. And then as time developed, an influx of Israelites were coming. Not only from the Liberia, but also United States. So I just want to back up just a little bit because you really had like two schools merging. So I want to explain that briefly. So naturally, you have Ben Ami, Prince Rock Ami, Prince Keskiah, Prince Gabriel, or who's Gabriel now, and a host of others. They was a part of Abeta Hebrew Culture Center. Now you had another organization known as the One Incorporated that was started by the late Prince Dr. Shaliach ben Yehuda, who was the original dean of the School of Prophets Institute. Out of that came my spiritual Saba grandfather, Prince Asiel, Prince Amiel, you know, the late Nasi Eleazar. All them came from out of the one, and they merged together. So when they created these 12 princes, Prince Asiel became what you know as the international ambassador. He was the one that was influxing many of the Hebrews back into the land. He became more of an international spokesman while Ben Ami was the spiritual leader. So now we got the senior prince back on deck. He back.
No doubt.
So,
Prince, we got the brother DeBar wanted to ask you a question because I know you're traveling and stuff real busy. So,
well, let me do this real quick. Can I'll make a comment to Prince Landine's comment, because I promised myself and I promised the people that I would tell this story of the collective reality, even though we didn't know we were all working on the same team. Now, when the 400 went into Liberia, half of them came back because there wasn't no 7-Elevens, wasn't no grocery stores, wasn't no amenities, no nothing. We was in the bush, and we didn't even know it was food anywhere. So at a certain point, we had to come to terms with the tents that we have bought from Sears and Roebuck in America couldn't take 60 days of straight up rain. We had never experienced that. So the rain was tearing up our tents, and we had a lack of knowledge of food around us. So, I mean, there were times that we were sort of starving. But what happened was some Garveyites were already there, left over from the experience years before, where Garveyites had come in and settled into the interior of Liberia, right? They came to our rescue. And I promised everybody I would continue to tell this story. They showed us how to create some housing so that we wouldn't be rained on every day and every night. They showed us where the food was, and then when they showed us, food was everywhere. So I'm saying that to say that we all have taken a part in this. And a lot of times our vernacular betrays us. Because a lot of times we say, well, we're going to do this, or this person did this, or these people did this. And we need to be saying, we've been doing this. We weren't really inactive for the 460 years. We was inactive when the first guy say, hey, you put that rope around my neck, my ancestors gonna get you. You understand what I'm saying? But running away from the plantations and all that kind of stuff, and our brothers, they made it like we walked to the noose, you know, like we wanted to be there.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't do that stuff willfully. So everybody got to get their props. This 460 years, we all been trying to work our way out of it. Even the people who we said were Uncle Toms and all that kind of stuff, they came and because they decided to, you know, to assimilate and do whatever. They had their part to play too. Because at the end of the day, you got to think about it. If we develop in a civilization, we got to have all that knowledge we got out of them schools. Especially the scientists and, you know, all of the people who, what you call them, engineers and all of those. We got to have all of those things, because in a civilization, your scientist is your foundational reality. You understand? Now, but how we would do it, it would be markedly different from the other civilization. Now, Brother Jabbar, you said something a few minutes ago, and I'm saying we got to agree on this now. We passed nationhood.
That's right.
We passed that. We into civilization, and if we don't say it, we defeat ourselves. We're into civilization. That means you can bring your nation. And we're like you were trying to say a little while ago, you know, we'll deal with that later or whatever. We ain't got to deal with it at all, because if that's the way you feel, you had a right to feel that way.
That's right.
But what we want to do is be free. So all of us just need to be focusing on being free. The first level of that freedom for us now is to change our vernacular and change our perspective. Nation is something, everybody that did that. But everybody hadn't done civilization. And I'm saying, the beauty about the civilization, you retain your own sovereignty.
That's right. That's right.
Because at the end of the day, we're talking about numbers. numbers. So if we stop with all the other stuff, trying to the identifiables and all that kind of stuff, and deal with the reality that we need a better world, we need better food, shelter, clothing, environment, and all of that. And there's no designation for that other than humanity is in need. We are in
my
need
dear
of
brother,
these.
my dear Prince, one of the brothers, I believe he was out of A Better World or Kingdom of Yah. I'm not sure how you say it, but him and a few other brothers actually came to my home in Washington, D.C. And I interviewed the brother Dawid, and I forgot the other brother name. It's with me right now. My wife interviewed the other brother, and he was speaking on this. And which you reminded me of the things that you're saying that got a lot of people in trouble, like the Black Panther Party. You know, Henry, what is Henry Newton? You know, this type of talking, this type of talking, you don't hear young folks talk like this anymore. You know, you don't. I just don't see that drive in them anymore. The way you speaking, because we are caught up on religion. You know, we are caught up on man worship. There's a lot of stuff like that. But before that's just how I want to make a statement. But Bar, I know you wanted to say something. Though.
Yeah, because you touched right on it, Elder Qanath, and I don't think that the Kingdom of Yah gets enough credit. And what I mean by that is when you just look at the civil rights movement, you got to now put the Kingdom of Yah in that group. Look at what Marcus Garvey, the Garveyites, accomplished on a collective level. And then look at what the Kingdom of Yah accomplished on a collective level. So my question to you is, you know, if we could just look at the Kingdom of Yah collectively, would you bunch them in the group of civil rights, the civil rights movement that maybe continued from what the work of many of our previous leaders have done? Would you bunch them in there?
Okay, now so I would preface it like this.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons why I have a special love for Dr. King is because before he passed, he said that when he told Harry Belafonte, I believe we have integrated our people into a burning house.
Burning house, yep. Mm-hmm.
And what he did, he admitted that he was wrong and that it was wrong, but he still gets credit for the energy because he was working for him. He was working for us like everybody else was working. Now, the second thing he said was he would not say that violence should not be a part of the revolution. That's what he said. Now, this is Mr. Peace talking. So that means on his way out, he was very candid in saying, look, civil rights wasn't it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry, I was down on the people who was trying, the Panthers and all that was trying to take up the gun and everything. See, in all these aspects, you had black people participating. If it was a gun, you had black people. It was the ballot, It was just straight up revolution, I'm just saying that we have to give ourselves more credit than we given ourselves.
That's right.
And so when we say the reason why we left wasn't to build a black world, it was to build a better world. It just don't happen that we come out of black culture. And we had to do something for our people, but the reality of it is if we did nothing would have got done because nobody else was doing it. And certainly the Europeans were not going to help us do what we did. And this is what I'm saying.
Prince, I'm sorry, because you struck a nerve with me when you said that. And because I see a lot of us preach this, but we don't hear it. We always talk about we're the salt of the earth. Everybody copy and follow us, right? They follow the good and bad of us, right? So if we are God's chosen people and we are that salt of the earth, then we should lead in that manner. So I get it, right? I get it. So it all starts with us. So if the spirit of Yah, the Messiah, is in us, right? Then the world will follow us. But they see us doing this and religious fighting and backbiting and all that type of stuff. I think you're correct. That's where our downfall comes in, that we are to try to make the world a better place. Point blank period.
That was our mandate. As the Hebraic and the Israelite people, that was our mandate. That's why people were trying to what you call mimic us or whatever. You know, like the guys who converted in the 8th and 9th century, and then after a couple of centuries, they stopped using the word conversion. So you can't even tell their children that they wasn't the original people, because they don't know nothing about conversion. They wasn't talking about it. So what I'm saying, even those people, we've interacted with all of the peoples on the planet, and in those peoples are people who want a better world, who want a better life, who don't like the construct that they exist under. Well, I can't even say exist, because everybody dying under this thing now, based upon their science and technology. And so all I'm saying is that at the end of the day, if we go to the least common denominator, we're human. The least common denominator. So when I meet a human, I'm not looking to not connect with them. I'm looking to connect. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Now, when we get the connection and you say you got some foul stuff going on, then I know how to. The scriptures say, kick the dust off your feet. But you got to give people the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? Because what we wind up doing is what everybody else is doing, and that's you judge people by how they look, how they dress, all of that. But in the scriptures, it says you judge the tree by the fruit that it bears. And Dr. King said the content of their character, not the color of their skin. Because
is it, I'm sorry, is it wise to tell your left hand what your right hand is doing? Because we have to get this word out.
That's a Machiavellian principle, and I detest Machiavelli.
I'm sorry.
What I'm saying, I said that's a Machiavellian principle. Never let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, and it ain't worked for none of us. The object is your right hand and your left hand should be working together. Why should one be uninformed?
Right.
We got to stop practicing those things, because those things ain't helped us. You know, so whatever I know, I want you to know. That's why I'm talking like I'm talking. And you can ask us any questions you want, because we want you to know what we know. And that was the thing about the kingdom, man. We did so many classes and so much teachings and all that kind of stuff. You know, because we wanted everybody to know. We wanted everybody to know. We wanted there to be transparency and all the things, and all of those things that cause for growth and development. You know, at the end of the day, we have to be looking at growth and development. That's why this thing is called evolution. How are we evolving? Because we have to evolve from the concept of nationalism, because all of us are in national scenarios. We had to evolve and say, we are all under the umbrella of a civilization, and that's just a change of perspective and a change in vernacular. It ain't saying nobody's over somebody or under somebody or whatever, but we can certainly converse about where we need to go once we understand we're on the same page.
Absolutely. Elder,
civilization is the only thing that we have not done. We built nations, but we haven't separated ourselves as a civilization.
Gotcha.
Somebody want to ask something?
Yeah. So, Elder, I understand the message about, civilization, and maybe that's the new message, but just kind of going back or echoing back to the original question about when we look at the kingdom of Yah during like the 60s and the 70s, when you guys were forming, what inspired you? Was it because when I look at the accomplishments, I see our people going through a time of crisis during the civil rights movement. And I'm just wondering, did some of that spill over and maybe encourage or motivated y'all to look at things in a different way? Because the accomplishments you guys have done are on a Garvey level. I mean, the kingdom of Yah in terms of civilization within the Black collective, if we could put it that way.
Right. I like that.
Within the Black collective culture, you guys are right up there. I mean, seriously, when you examine what you have done, going from multiple different countries, having citizenship now, Dimona, Israel, these are huge accomplishments. And I'm just wondering if there was any crossover from that, you know, from being influenced by civil rights or what we were going through during that time.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you the story. It's in my book too, about my meeting Dr. King. When I was 14 years old, in the DMV, I was 14 years old, and we were supposed to be going on this class trip down into DC in front of the mayor's office because Dr. King was supposed to speak on Pennsylvania and 14th Street. That was the mayor's office, if y'all remember. So when we got down there, our bus got down there late. So when we got down there, our bus was the last bus. And so it was a sea of junior high school students, right? So we got off the bus and we were all the way in the back. So people up at the mayor's office looked like little tiny people, right? So they announced when we got out, we went into the crowd and they announced that Dr. King was coming out. And then all of a sudden the children started pushing and hollering, cheering and started pushing. And you know, I was a little guy, probably about 106 pounds or whatever, you know. And I felt myself being pushed. And it just, I couldn't stop. I couldn't turn myself around because I just kept being pushed and being pushed. And I got pushed all the way till I hit some stairs and fell on the stairs. And when I fell on the stairs, I looked up. It was a hand trying to help me up the stairs. I had been pushed all the way to the steps of the mayor's office, and the person that picked me up was Dr. King.
Wow.
Oh,
so he looked me in my face. He looked me in my face, and we lingered for like 3 seconds or whatever. And then when I got up and stood back, I got pushed all the way back to where I started from. So what is my point? My point is I didn't understand the significance of that till years later. Because I'm loving Dr. King and the movies and I'm in the revolution and we doing all kinds of stuff. I was in DC when they was burning the cities, and I know what it's like. That it smelled tear gas and fire all mixed in one and all that. Went through all of that. Only to come to terms with the fact that I felt, and when I really looked at it, I said, I don't know if he gave those children, the other children got anything. They might have got something. But I know that day he gave me something. And so I realized it later on, because now I can talk about him. I can talk about everything that's going on. I can correlate. I can do all the work that needs to be done. I and others like yourself and all that, we can do all of that work because we grew up with all these great men and great women and great spirits that was trying to make it happen, even though they knew it wasn't going to be in their lifetime. What the kingdom of Yah represented, it represented that we could be free in our lifetime. That nation was built in our lifetime. And so the reality of the building of the kingdom was for everybody. It was for all of us, you know, but we come from distinct scenarios, distinct situations, distinct groups, distinct religions and all that. And they taught us to hate rather than love in the beginning. And then, you know, we're dealing with paranoia and all of this type of stuff, and we ain't giving each other the deference we should give each other as brothers. So I go back to something that the brother said when he opened up the show. He said, when I met this brother, it was like he was my brother. It was a feeling. It was something about it. It's because we met heart to heart, not head to head.
That's
we
right.
met heart to heart. And this is what I'm saying. And so these things that we have thought about and practiced over the years, I mean, we were actually in the belly of the beast. I mean, literally. Mm-hmm. It was like we already was in one war for the 400 some years.
Yeah.
Then when we broke out of here and went to Liberia, we started another war. You know what I'm saying? And then when we get to Israel, we had a whole nother war. So we was fighting like 3 different wars. You know what I'm saying? So our psychology and sociology and all this stuff, man, was all over the place because they was interfering with us all the way. But what we had was the knowledge and the love of those who came before us, who literally prepared us. Every generation doesn't do the same thing. See, now, your generation now, you have the benefit that we built it. So what does that say? It say it can be built because it was built. Now y'all got to put the roof on it and the trimmings and all that kind of stuff, so that we can open the door and say, "Come on in, the water's fine."
Right.
This is that time.
Right.
This is that now. So I'm saying, let's just change our perspective from the level of nationhood, because we're already nations.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're going to have collective power, we have to be a civilization. Mm-hmm. Now, who runs it and all that kind of stuff? We ain't even got to get into all that. All we got to do is do the work.
That's right.
Hey, Prince. This is very. Hey, Prince. I'm sorry to cut you because it takes me back to what you said about when I met you in Chicago. And by the way, call me. I didn't know when you come back to DC. Dinner on me. Okay. When you get back home. But
believe it.
when I was in Chicago, and I went to the service, and I was floored of the people that was there, the dignitaries and the respect, not just for the brother, but the team, the collective. And
that's right.
It stepped outside of religion. Okay, it stepped outside of that because I saw people there that I thought I would never see. And brothers and sisters, I hope they release a tape on this because it's some stuff that was going on back in the churches that had Louis Farrakhan involved. All these people were together in that one collective that the media wants you to think they was actually separate, but they was all had that same walk to fight, right? And I learned a lot when I felt so good to rub shoulders with you brothers, right? And they were happy to see me. I was like, wow, this is so, man. I appreciate that. Can you go into how? Because you're speaking on that Better World Collective. Can you go into that past? Give us some history of that past, just a little on what I witnessed.
Okay, but let me start like this though. In the 1600s, there was a thing called the 30 Years' War, if y'all remember. Landine, talking about when the Europeans were slaughtering each other to the tune of 200 million people. They Game of Thrones. So Game of Thrones, there ain't no joke. That's how they live. That's how they do. But what happened was they decided, since they were after the world, that they need to stop fighting each other, at least long enough to control the world. So what they did, they created this meeting in Westphalia, Germany. And out of that came a document called the Westphalia Agreement. And the Westphalia Agreement is really where sovereignty came from, the terminology came from. So the idea was 4 basic tenets. You had to have a discernible land, discernible culture. You had to have a discernible leadership, and you had to have other nations sign off on your authenticity. The reason why I preface like that is because Prince Asiel was an ambassador extraordinaire, because he brought so many nations here that it blew the Israelis' minds. Not only did he bring nations, yes, he bought Whitney Houston, Bobby Brown.
Yep.
He bought Stevie Wonder. He bought Bobby Jones. He bought the Neville brothers. I mean, the list. And he bought Winnie Mandela, who you can go online and find Winnie Mandela in Dimona. And she says that the work that we were doing there, and she's on the tape saying this, she said this should be the new Mecca for Africa.
That's right.
See that?
Yeah.
See, that's why I was saying. Oh, I think he's muted, Elder.
No, we can't hear you, Prince.
We can't hear.
We can't hear you. 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 So this is what I'm gonna do, right? Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna call him. Let me call him.
Okay.
I'm not gonna hold him too much longer because you can see he's actually busy.
Yeah.
And I appreciate this interview.
This is huge. This is huge. I don't know if the audience understands how much history we're going into right now, but this is powerful, man. It's a lot of information. We might have to do a part 2 on this. I don't know, Elder Qanath.
No doubt. Especially when we go to Israel.
Ushered us into the geopolitical world, right?
There you go.
So
I'm sorry.
now see,
I was calling because we couldn't hear you for the past 2 minutes. That's why I called.
Okay, hold on.
And I know you must have missed it. And you know what? That's nothing but YouTube because you must have spent some real jewels.
Absolutely.
yeah, you gotta. They don't know. Nasi. Listen, let me tell y'all something about Nasi. He has a gift, whereas though he can break down movies and get to the core of the subliminal. Like I've never in my life heard nobody like him break down the Matrix trilogy like him. He got. I'm telling you, this guy, man, is on a whole nother level.
Prince, Prince, let me say something to you, Prince. Prince, I gotta say something. I gotta get your ups on something, man, because it was you, the one who introduced me to Prince Alciel, right? Okay. Prince Alciel, because and you hooked us up when we traded numbers, and you heard the conversation that we had, and you will always speak highly of him, and a lot of people never looked into his great work. And I believe the Most High is using us all as tools, as tools. And I'm sure all of us that got beat up, physically, but a lot mentally and spiritually. And a lot of people that beat us up, they're not doing anything. Okay, they're not doing anything. They not rubbing shoulders with people that do things. And everybody has a place to fit in like a big puzzle. And I say that because 2 brothers passed away.
Okay.
Right? Dear brothers, right? And we looking into a religious thing and a personal thing, an envy thing. And a lot of times when you say things that I'm going to repeat, right? It's a reflection of the devil that's in you, right? Or who you perceive as the devil, right? And you're actually looking in the mirror, because I would say this: God forbid anything happen to anybody's children, right? And the person had blood still warm from passing away, and you say something. And I saw a video of that brother daughter. I'm not going to mention his name, but the brother daughter thanking her father for being there. Now, what if she'd have came across or come across that negative comment and tried to use a camp thing as the reason why you act in a certain damn way? See, what this prince did, right? Because the powers that be always interrupting what he's doing, because I got a chance to sit down and talk with a lot of them. I was like, damn, I had no clue. And I give you credit, bro, because you've been saying this for a long time. And what you went through, right? Being here in the Americas, I used to always say to myself, how can a people be so weak, overpower a people so strong, mentally, physically, creative? How can they destroy us? Now, we know the reason why. But then your conscious mind say, well, okay, we know the reason why, but how can they destroy such a people? And one of it is separation, bro.
Yep.
It's the separation of the mind, the body, and the soul. It's the separation not to have enough compassion of losing your brother.
That's
even
right.
if he may have a difference. But the separation is so deep, you don't have with Christ that you say you love, or the Most High who you say you love. What? Have compassion and mercy. But you are too damn great that you would disassociate yourself with a community. I'm no longer associated with an Israelite, Hebrew, nothing, or Jew. I'm no longer. Who gives a crap?
Yeah.
Who cares?
I think I know who you're talking about. Absolutely.
Okay. So when you say this, because I looked at that person on another level, and when I talk to my brother like the Bar OU, and I get to talk to people who is on another realm and not just caught up in everything of the book that you don't practice or keep yourself. Because the Bible says, who say they haven't sinned, have sinned already.
Already. Mm-hmm.
So I say this because when I saw that video, that young girl talking about her father, who blood probably was still warm, and a brother say, I hope he repented.
Yeah, I heard talking about the brother from the house of David. He was a good brother. He was a good brother.
Yes, we need to stop the lies.
He was a real good brother. I knew him personally.
I hope exactly. I did too. Then we don't have to agree on everything. But brother, I hope you. How you know that you know everything? I'm not gonna let it slide. You know. Right? So nah, man. No. And that person, I'm gonna say it. That person had the nerve. Yehuda, brothers and sisters, made a video talking about he's no longer with no F.O.P.E, with no associated with an Israelite camp. Everybody knows this already. So you were shooting subliminals. I don't shoot them. And then he had the nerve. And I'm going to show y'all. Right? Because a lot of times what the brother said about COINTELPRO or the devil creeped in. God damn it.
You remember I called you Zaquin because of what was said about the shot Greer, Prince Asiel. And it was like, man, he ain't even cold. Because it don't matter to me, you know, we all Israel, so we gonna have certain differences. But when it comes to things like closeness to family like that, and it's like my mother said, it's a time and place for everything. You know what I mean? And that just wasn't the time nor the place to speak about two great monumental men like that. Like it's no bad thing.
I'm sorry. Let me say this. This is very important because I gotta say this right now. Oh, let me let my sister on. All right, hold tight because I don't know if Prince gonna come back, so we're not gonna be on here long. But I'm gonna show y'all something, man. I don't like no sneak shit. Shasham is my cousin, my family, my blood, who's been with me through thick and thin. Thick and thin. Okay? So what you do this past Friday, after you telling me we cool brothers, then you doing sneak videos, then what you do again? How can you keep saying you're a brother when you do stuff like this? You go send my cousin a text. And the text reads, as I'm going to show y'all. So I'm going to read it to you just in case you see it. Then we'll put it up, try to get you to see it. Getting off topic, I placed I don't know what the topic was. I placed 2 trades within 15 minutes, right? Talking about him making money. Great. But then you say this, bro. You say this. Respectfully, please remove all the lessons I taught on your platform. No hate, Yehuda.
Dang. Yikes.
Now, what's important? The word of God? What's more important, the word of God or his pride?
Mm-hmm.
What's more important, the word of God or his pride? Because in the same text, it says, see how God operates, how he works. Well, see how he working?
Mm-hmm.
See how he respectfully, please remove all the lessons I taught on your platform. No hate, Yehuda. Well, why?
Right.
Why? Okay. Think about what we talk about here. So now I see this, I'm like, man, hey, my cousin like, can you believe this shit? I said, I'm gonna take care of it. I'm gonna take care of it. I'm gonna let my dear sister on because I'm gonna let her get some.
Elder, can I piggyback real quick off what you said?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because you hit something heavy, and you know, it's nothing but love. You know, I gotta always throw that out there. You know,
Love that brother, but dang.
we need to be more resilient in how we handle conflict with one another. And I'm gonna tell you why, because I'm gonna give a scripture. But that same energy brings me back to a camp I had left where they would remove all your videos because you're no longer with the congregation. Okay. And I just want to bring this scripture out real quick. This is the book of 1 John chapter 4, verse 20. If a man say, I love Yahweh or Yahweh, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he have seen, how can he love Yahweh whom he have not seen? So oftentimes our religiosity becomes real, or whatever we believe becomes real by virtue of how we treat one another. And I can say this again, while I'm gonna give the kingdom of Yah a big shout out again, because when I came to Dimona, the village of peace, it wasn't about how I'm rocking my fringes. They had more understanding on how to rock the real fringes than I had. You know what I'm saying? They showed me nothing but love, and I got hugs. You know what I'm saying? I felt genuine love. So we got to unlearn the hatred that we have because of white supremacy for one another. And we really got to have genuine love regardless of doctrinal differences. So I'm going to leave it at that. Go ahead, Elder.
I was saying real quick, this kind of way off topic, but in our F.O.P.E. Academia Debate League, right? New School of Thought Academia Debate League, right? We have a guy over there. Well, they was on the show the other night, right? But we're going to send him over there on Sunday show, right? Because all these people think they Bible stumpers. Deal. That's him calling. Go ahead. Y'all go ahead and speak. That's him calling me back. Go ahead, y'all.
Go ahead, Prince.
Yeah, again, giving all praise and honor to Yahweh, the supreme, intelligent, powerful, one of our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. They were striving for righteousness' sake. I say unto the family, Shalom Aleichem. It's definitely an honor and a privilege to be here. You know, I'm just glad that we're moving forward into transcending into a civilization. And that's the key factor. You know, and I've always said this when I developed Hebrew Israelite sovereign nationalism. I don't care about your doctrinal differences. All that'll be socially corrected as we develop as a civilization. You see what I'm saying? You know, not to say that debate isn't necessary, because at times debate is necessary. Mm-hmm. But one of my sayings in my new book I'm working on, 311 trillion, 40 billion BC even now, I say measurement is used to examine a man or a woman's worth through their work. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that attracted me to the KOY, to the Kingdom of Yah, in the 90s was the monumental work is unmatched. And I don't mean unmatched in the sense like we're better than anybody. No. It's the hand of y'all, because if it wasn't, it would be duplicated, and it hasn't been. So it was as what the senior Nasik was saying, the senior Prince was saying, Amiel, he was saying like that was their mission to do that. Now we got to like decorate it, so to say now. So now you get the Hebrew Israelite sovereign nationalism, Hebrew cosmogenesis, Hebrew anthropogenesis, F.O.P.E. The list goes on and on and on. Now you're seeing, at one time, I remember there was a time, none of the Israelites wanted to go to Israel because of doctrinal differences and the believing in the nuclear destruction and different things like that. So now, things have transcended to the point that all Israelites are going over there now to Israel, to Dimona, to see the well of reality that's taking place. Like earlier, and I'm in the F.O.P.E back chat, it was we was talking about vegan diet. One of the discussions was the vegan diet, and one of the brothers was like, well, we can't eat plant-based foods because it's all hybrid. And I understand, he's coming more from, interdimensional beings came down and brought these things, whatever the case may be. But true science is observation. We are observatory people. So I would use the kingdom of Yah and Dimona as the measuring rod to see if this dietary consciousness or this lively consciousness is acceptable or rejectable. And we have sociologists from all over the world, from Temple University, the University of Chicago, even all the way to the Berlin University. I mean, all these sociologists coming from all different walks of life, they go to Dimona, Israel to research our community. And we're known to be the most healthiest Black people as a collective group in the world.
Absolutely.
In the world. This is not guesswork. This is what it is. And this is why it was so easy for me to dismantle all my opponents, on the other side, whether the Black conscious community. You remember when I debated Seti? Man, he was talking about how elaborate the pyramids were, and Imhotep built the first step pyramid, and and we got these records and this, that, the third. But then when I pulled out what was we talking about right now, what's effective right now, and if your parent root hasn't caused you to produce truth, which is the inherent power to manifest or produce the positive effect, then the scriptures that you quoting has no merit, because you're not producing. Only the law, statutes, and commandments and the prognostication or the prophecies drove us to move in that direction. No book, all your books, your Epics of Gilgamesh, your Imuni Elish, and they have their proper place. But in this place that we're talking about now, it's about show me the money. That's what we want. Show me the money. We done moved from nation building to now civilization building. You've been to Dimona, brother. You've been to Dimona. Is that a religion or a society?
It's a society.
It's a society over there.
Hey, can I throw
you can have
out there real quick, King, because you lighting the fire, and I know we got a guest coming on, so I want to be respectful. But Dimona is the largest soy producer in the state of Israel. You talk about civilization, y'all. They definitely are next level with it on that level. And last thing I'm gonna say about the dietary customs, when you look at our teeth, right? When you look at our teeth, we are biologically designed as omnivores, actually herbivores, but we function in society as omnivores. So excuse me for that, Salakia. So I just wanted to, support you on that about the diet that is in Demona. It's spot on. It's 100% spot on, and it's scientifically backed. So if you look into just our teeth structure and our need to cook food, and then you look at it like the fact that we can't eat, we don't have teeth that can rip flesh because we're herbivores and our teeth are like mortals and pestles, then you'll get the point. But anyhow, don't want to be too long-winded on that. Elder Qanath, I know we have a guest.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Everything y'all said, man, is factual, point blank, period. And the elder just called me and he said, man, my phone shut down, everything. He said it was acting like the show was over. He said when he looked, he was saying that, he said, man, y'all left? I said, no, we still alive. No, we still here. At least I hope we are. We still here. But look, I have a sister on. I've been knowing this sister for some time. She has a pleasant heart. And I don't want her to go in too much because some of the stuff that she knows as far as being dealing with herbs and stuff, I don't want my channel shut down because I know a few people who does things like that or even speak too highly on it, they will shut your page down. But this sister does have a spirit, a giving spirit, a kind spirit that she really loves her nation. So I'm gonna open up, give her a few minutes to speak before I close this out. And then hopefully Most High will, because her and I have been talking behind the scenes, that she can come on and get some understanding that I think y'all will definitely appreciate. But Most High bless, sister. How you doing? Shalom. Adayat? Sister?
Hey, Elder
Can you hear me?
She put something in the back chat.
Oh.
I think she might be having connection issues, something about a mic.
Yeah, she said she had connection difficulties or something.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna take you out and try to come back in. I'm gonna give you a few minutes. If not, we just do it tomorrow because I'm doing a show almost every day. But I think that what y'all saying is a movement, and that movement is dangerous, man. Let's keep it a buck. It's dangerous when they see people coming together. They don't fear when people fight. They don't. But see, I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. I play chess, and I'm not showing my hand, but I tell you some things I said I was gonna do. I told the bar and Shashem, I said I'm gonna go to the House of Conscience, and what I said I'm gonna do. The bar, what did I say I'm gonna do when I go over there?
So I want to use the word carefully. It's all about collaboration, right? So we're gonna collaborate on a different level because the bottom line is this, y'all. When you look at us as a collective, see, I think the issue is they made us think on an individual level. So we trying to over here F.O.P.E. think on that same level that's going on with the kingdom of Yah. But go ahead, Elder Qanath.
Right. So no, I said I said because I said, you know what? I said, look, I said a lot of rumors been put out about folk, and particularly me. I said, but I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna show them me. Right. And I say, once I let them see me, they're gonna love me.
That's right.
Right. I said they're gonna love me, they're gonna see that I'm a real brother. Right. And it worked to a certain degree. To a certain degree, and hopefully brothers will come together. Now, is that going to make a lot of people come together? Everybody, no. But we have to start somewhere. We created this debate league, right, to have discussions, intellectual discussions, and letting iron sharpen iron respectfully. Right. And everything don't have to be done out in the open. And like the brothers that we was going back and forth on folk. That's what the brother Yehuda was upset about because we let them on the platform. And I get it. A lot of people, some people are like, man, I don't like it, but I get it. And I'm not getting trapped in a matrix. Excuse me, trust me, I pray all the time. But I done that because everybody's don't practice being an Israelite. Everybody don't practice this. And some of y'all that claim it don't practice it at all. right? Don't practice at all. So we got people into a little bit of everything. So why not bring them to your house and stand strong at the door? Stand strong at the door and contend in a respectful way, and maybe you could bring some of that fruit, right? When you get the leaders on, and you speak to them, and then you exchange information and see who wins out. I truly believe, right, and I know it's a fact, that the Bible will win out all the time. Hey. Going win out all the time. So I operate this a little bit different than some people. I move in a way where you can't see me. Put it that way. So I try to get it with, man, we all come together, and go ahead. I know you want to say something.
Yeah, because I just want to lay me back on what you were saying, because for brothers that believe in the Messiah, right? The Messiah talks about, even in Torah, you're supposed to love your brother, right? But you're also supposed to love your enemy. So where did this separation doctrine come when it came to us as a nation? As a nation of people, we still have to function as a society. And it's like we like to close ourselves off from people. And I just look at that as white supremacy, and it's divide and conquer. When you look at Esau and you look at the other nations, they have different layers, different groups within their group, but they understand the collective interest. They understand what they need for their people, regardless if they have differences in philosophy. So it would be nice if we can get there. Some of our people are still in that arcane way of thinking, but listen, y'all.
You know what you just did? You know what you just did? You just described the government, right? They start with the military, right? They all not together, but they're together. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, right?
That's right.
Democrat, Republican, Tea Party, Green Party, right? In Congress, right? Different parties. You have the Senate, right? They say United States. They separate, but they're together. But that's a government, right? And you could create. They actually made over there in the kingdom of y'all a nation, right? And not a nation. They showed you a map on how to start it.
And Elder, can we go a little further on it?
Go ahead.
They're self-sufficient. Think about what the kingdom of Yah is doing in Demona. They are a self-sustaining nation within a nation. We haven't learned that yet. We don't know how to thrive and be civilized in a foreign territory. We don't know how to do that. So there's a lot that we can learn from the kingdom of Yah. And I just wanted to sing their praises. But with that, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give it back to you, Elder, and to the Prince, Mighty Hebrew. By the way, Mighty Hebrew, I was going to tell him one thing. We coming to see you, King. We ain't forget about you. We was talking in the back chat. Queen Neftali, Elder Qanath. We coming out there, Mighty Hebrew, to come see you. So we're going to hit you up.
And you said it's something we're not doing. And I think, the question is to me is why? And it's fear. Scared to ride the plane, right? Scared you leave, you can't get back. Scared to go over there because you're scared of the people. Scared you're going to lose your job. I got it better in America. I got it better in Egypt. It's fear.
It's definitely a misconception.
There's no faith. Go ahead, Prince.
It's definitely a misconception about Africa. Africa is very multicultural. That's number one. When you start talking Dar es Salaam, it's going to be the most powerful city by 2034 if you understand about the geopolitics of the ports. Whoever controls them ports in the Indian Ocean, they're going to have the power. So it's very important that we have to now lay claim to a civilization from the Great River Egypt to the Euphrates. See, we was always under the impression that what we see in Israel, that was the only portion of Israel, and that's just not true. Historically, Israel consisted of Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, along with Israel as we know today. But it also extended all the way up to Lake Victoria, where it dropped in Uganda. Remember, Abraham's inheritance was from the great river Egypt to the Euphrates. So all that, so I'm saying I'm in Israel right now, even though this is called Tanzania. If you sitting in Sudan, you in Israel. If you in Kenya, you're in Israel. You see what I'm saying? We got to get out of this mind. If you in Iraq, you're in Israel. From the great river Egypt to the Euphrates. That is what constitutes the whole land of Israel. One of the death blows, and this is not to point at the One West, but they started it. And that was identifying the children of Ham as Africans.
Yep.
We didn't know at one time that that word Africa goes back to a Hebrew Aramaic word, Afar, which only means soil or dust. When you go into Genesis chapter 2:7, you see the word Afar right there. Then you go to the 26th chapter of Genesis, you see Midian's son, you know what I mean, Afar, which Josephus said produced the Afarites, which destroyed your Punites or your Libyans. So your true Africans were actually a Shemitic tribe that lived south of Carthage. They weren't even Hamitic. So the way that we're using this word to identify with as being African is false. And that's the misunderstanding that has been pushed out there, which gives a negative connotation in the mind state of the people. So they don't want no parts of the continent. But the reality is we have to start looking back to that land. We have to. We're already in the land. We got to deal with reality. And the reality is we're in the land. That's just the bottom line. But hallelujah. I think the sister is on now.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm gonna let you go ahead. I got you on mute. So can y'all brothers mute up so we don't get no echo? Thank you. Sister, yeah, I was telling the brothers in the family that I've been knowing you for some time now, and hopefully we can make things happen that you tell the nation. You've been telling the nation about for a long time, but also move out to something bigger and broader, but also that your skill set dealing with herbs and teaching, children, right? And understanding on what it takes to be a woman, right? A spiritual woman and a woman that fears Yah. So it's a blessing to have you here. And I told you that maybe next week you and I could do a show together, right? If you're a little shy, but I know you're gonna be all right. You know what I mean? So could you bless the platform with some encouraging words? I'm gonna unmute you real quick. Hold on, okay, there you go, sister.
Still muted, Elder.
Still muted. You're still muted. Unmute yourself.
Hi, greetings. Shalom. Are you all hearing me? Okay.
Yes, loud.
So, hi, the Queen in the house. So I will first open by saying blessings, grace, and peace unto the whole entire house. The Almighty Creator Yah say, when you see your people, the first thing we must do is speak blessings and abundance unto our people, because these things were taken away from us, and He called us into a life of abundance and prosperity. So let us speak it over our people, right? Hallelujah. So I first say shalom and peace and blessings unto you, my brothers and my kings and my prince, right? So hallelujah. I am High, the Queen, the divine mother of truth and mysteries, the mysteries of the herbs, the mysteries of Mystery Babylon. Now, as we already know, there is some things that we shall not speak on this platform because we don't want to have the platform shut down. And I'm a very special piece of the puzzle, I always say. So I try my best to make sure I don't say some things. Yeah. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. Now, excuse the fact that you may not see my face properly because I have several reflecting coats on my glasses, so it's going to feed back onto the phone, right? But I will sort these things out eventually, right? While I'm here, I want to take the time to talk about the holistic health and healing. Now, we already know that our people, we need to clean ourselves, right? We need to clean ourselves. We need to undo, redo, deprogram, and reprogram. There is many differences, yes, but at the same point in time, we have to use all the wisdom to bring togetherness, right? This is what it's all about, bringing togetherness, creating the body that we need. So with that being said, something that we need to look at for the characters also is that in this philosophical cultural concept to describe a person absolute goodness, this etopony and humanity, it is called also umlua B, which is I am because you are because I am. With this, there is a particular quality that needs to be seen throughout Beni Israel. And as a divine mother, I must say that through this, it must be signified through courage, hard work, humility, and respect. This is a person of honor who understands its components, literally translated as separately, meaning the child, that child which has great character, that chief, that master of great character. When combined, we have this now, we call it Iwa Pile, good character. Such a child or person is thought of as a paragon of excellence in character. Umuloa B, I am because you are because I am. As the scripture says it, it says that our Father who art in heaven, holy is your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So this means that something needs to come from above through us, and most likely it's going to look like the bright light behind me. So how are we going to really demonstrate this with a proper attitude? We must exhibit this in the inherent virtue and values of good character. Good character is ultimately the basis of moral conduct. This goes all the way back to Odinala, Odinana, Odinani, that which it is we do in the land. If you look at last night, you all had a particular brother, he talked about Odinala. He talked about our ancient people. So when you look at the Igbo tribe, you hear about Odinana, Odinani, but again, we still need to understand it's all also about our good character, that which it is we do in the land, because many people are looking on to us. And sometimes when our heart gets stirred up and it becomes hot with inside of us, we tend to sometimes speak with an attitude. We speak out of humility. We get aggressive and ignorant. So we have to be, this is the reason why it is important to have the feminine mother, the feminine energy that also nurtures the prince, the kings, the brothers. The most fundamental of the principle demonstrated by good character, these are some of the traits that we look for as the body and the judge, backed by the spiritual court. It must be a spoken word according to great respect for intelligence and expert use of language. So there are some of us who speak the Hebrew language very precisely, and then there are some of us who don't. We need to have respect, civility, goodwill, having a good mind towards others, truth, character, virtue, bravery, hard work, entrepreneurship, intelligence, endurance, patience, composure, respect, caution, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, understanding, and overstanding. These are all the traits towards that of a chief, that of a priest, that of a king, that of a priest. So consequently, and some characteristics and traits are the traits that we would like to see displayed in also F.O.P.E. It is considered virtues in many religious and spiritual sects, for example, humility, truth, and honesty. These things are really simple things that was even taught in Christian values, But we, being the people who are the true light of the world, the true, the true direct leaders and teachers, we must first display this in our own character. When you look at something sometimes Beni Israel. Sometimes some of them, they still have some big guts. I'm going to have to say it like this. Please don't be offended. Yes, some of people, they have some
Wait a minute,
big
sis,
guts.
wait a minute, sis, you're breaking up. You're breaking up a little bit. Hold on. Can you try to move
And
around this a little bit? You try to
these
break up a little bit.
guts, the particular to remove years wins. It is. Are you hearing me better now?
Okay, I hear you good. Here we go. Ah,
Uh-oh. I think we lost her there.
man, she was
Man.
Zaquane.
Man, this sister, I've been talking to this for a long time, man. I told you I'm getting the sister up here, man. We got to get her up here, bro.
Zaquane, I have to go, Zaquane.
Oh, okay, all right, shalom. Thanks for coming on, Prince.
Yeah, Lil Todiah just woke up, man, and I gotta put him back to sleep.
Yeah, I know
man.
it's real late. Hit me in the morning. I'm gonna call you about something.
Yeah. Okay, unless you want to feature him one day on F.O.P.E and do an interview with him.
No doubt.
He only 2 though.
Hey, look, bring him on. Let's get him.
Hear me again?
All right, I'm gonna holler at you later. I hear out here, sister.
Okay, shalom.
All right, shalom. Yes, sister, go.
All right, so
we can hear you. Go ahead, continue. You was on fire. Come on, let's get it.
Okay then, right? So, I hope that you all was able to hear much what I had to say with regards to good character, right? The different traits that we shall be seeing, that we should be reflecting as a body, as a priestly body, not just a body, but as a priestly body. We must be able to fully demonstrate good character, not just goodness and badness going out of style. It is time to restore righteousness. Righteousness. It is not just about good. It is not just about bad. It's about righteousness. So we have to look at how we demonstrate ourselves. Another thing I was letting you know is that sometimes we listen to brothers and sisters. We know that we are hearing them saying something wrong. We see the stinking thinking. We see the ignorance. But because of their intelligence and knowledge, we pass it by. We overlook it. But if we continue to do that, we are not going to really have that fullness that we are looking for. Because people are tired of the tactics, the tricks, the games. They're tired of all of that. They want to see the true effect of the great spirit, of the great I am, Ahaya, Sheahaya. People want to see the great I am through you. They want to see the great I am through me. So how do we demonstrate our creator when it is sometimes we still having ignorance in the body? We still having where the head want to kick the bottom, where the foot want to stab the heart. No, everybody have a part to play, right? So I want to share something also now on the effect of the human spiritual system. The human body is made up of many systems to help the body to function, from the nervous system to the digestive system and the respiratory system, and also the circulatory system. Your body requires all these systems in order to function properly. The body is governed by these systems. The spiritual system is also as important as these other systems. It is responsible for sustaining life. It operates in 3 parts: release, receive, and storage of spiritual energy. For the communication with the Almighty Creator, we call him Anu, Yahu, Ahaya, whichever one settles best with you. He is still the great spirit, the Father of all. For sensing of spiritual activities around the body, and the human spirit, the human ruach, is also called the subconscious, which controls some of the body's function, for example, sleeping. The other systems can be seen by dissection of the human physical body, but the human spiritual system is not visible to the gross eye. Some people equate this with the nervous system, but this is incorrect. Just as the heart is the principal center organ of the circulatory system and the brain of the nervous system. I don't know if anyone can put up an image of you know, the chakra system, the tree of life system, right? I want you all to imagine that system while I'm
if you can find that, can you put it up for me if you can find it?
Yes, sir. Give me 1 second, please.
Yeah, he's going to find it
right,
for you,
because I don't want to have to turn my camera around just to show you the system, but I want you all to be able to follow along. So on the tree of life system, we know that there are different points, right? These particular points has various energy center points. These points, I call them duct points. They are situated in the body. The diagram now will show these points: release, receives, and stores. The Kundalini and Shashamandi cults also teaches similar stuff about the spiritual system, but instead of being used to connect to the Almighty Creator, Abba Father, and understand this energy to protect them, it is used for self-connection and to grow their spirit in a negative way. So when we look at the Cometians, when we look at some of the Babalawos in Yoruba land, they all has been using the chakra knowledge and the sacred tree of life knowledge for their own gain, right? A lot of people has been using it to suck people spiritually, right? I will talk about that deeper another time. Yes. So thank you for putting up the system, right? So when we look at this system here, we can see that there are different duct points, right? Which is called the chakra points. We have from the root to the crown. Now, everyone can tap into it, and the only way the spirit energy can grow is through the Almighty Creator, or a demonic entity like a fallen angel or a Nephilim spirit or a jinn. Now, a lot of people don't know what a jinn is. We will talk about that some other time. So how is this information beneficial to the Hebrew believer? It is important to know about the spiritual system in order to protect your spirit from demonic and jinnish possessions and spiritual uncleanness. For the spiritual system to be polluted or possessed by jinnish, demonic, or Nephilim spirits, firstly, a connection must be made to one of your receiving points. Now, the receiving points, on the diagram that you all see there, the receiving point goes from the heart, go down to the groin, right? So from the palm of the hands, straight to the heart. This deals with emotion and can both release and receive. So one way that the white man, the Caucasian man, was able to conquer our people in the Yoruba and Africa land is simple by shaking his hand. He simply took his hands, which is a release and a receive, and he was able to transfer energy and also to take energy from our forefathers via the receiving and the releasing point, which goes from the heart, the hands, straight to the heart point.
Let me say this real quick, sister. Let me say this real quick. This is only for information purposes. We do not claim to be any medical physicians, a doctor, or a nurse in any shape, form, or passion. This is only our opinion. Only our opinion. That we're not telling you what to do or anything like that. This is only our opinion, only for information purposes only. Go ahead, my beloved sister.
Only for edutainment purposes only. I like to use the word edutainment. So it is only for edutainment purposes.
Right.
Thank you for the disclaimer. Right. So how is this information beneficial to the Hebrew believer? So it is important to know so that you can protect yourself. So for the spiritual system to be polluted or possessed by these, it must be made first by the connection points, right? I'll just give you a quick little brief on my diagram. Hence, I don't even know how to change this camera around just now. Now, on my diagram, you see the difference is, you see the points, the body.
Hold on, let me make you a little bit larger so we can see. Wait, give me a second. Remove the screen, DeBar, so I can put her back up.
Yes, sir.
Give me a second. One more second, sister.
Done.
Boom. There we go.
Okay. So on the screen, on the diagram here, you see where the red line from the hands goes straight to the heart.
Yep, I see that.
Right? So that's why I was telling you that somebody can touch your hands, shake your hands, and it affects your heart. It takes energy or receives energy from you from this point. Now, the reason why I showed that is because I want you all to take a little demonstration for yourself. Have you ever just high-fived someone and felt like a shock fly through your hands?
Yeah, electrical shock. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you just shook somebody's hand, just shake their hand and you felt a vibration coming through your body. What do you think that was?
Energy.
Energy. So even if we are unaware, energy can be received and released through that simple point, that connection from the hands to the heart. Now, this can be done directly by placing of our hands also onto somebody's forehead. So we know that in Christianity, they always love to put their hands here. They always love to put their hands and bend you and touch you, and they speak into you, right? So they speak into you, they touch you on the forehead, and then they start to speak into your receiving, they speak into the next point, the nose and the ears. Let me just show you a little piece of that diagram again. When you look at the nose and the ears.
Yes.
Right, you see the green point there? That is from the nose to the ears. Now, this point here is the breath point. It can both also release and receive. So when they touch your forehead, they touch in your first eye, also known as your third eye. So they come and they touch your first eye, because they know you're blind, and they speak to you, speak in their words to your ears, to your nose, and they say, ahoy, hi, 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 I should have bought a Honda. I know, and I know, and I know, and I know. Ahoy, hi, hi. Isn't that how it is? The whole trend going to Christian church.
Right.
Right. That's the whole trend. And if you can, and if you're not for, go ahead.
Let me say something real quick. I want people to understand something, because somebody said a lot of people was giving you great comments, and a person that I respect, because they've been watching for some time, say witchcraft. Now I want you to understand something here. A lot of times things that you don't understand or overstand, it's some things dealing with elevation. Do I agree or understand everything somebody say? No. But let me give you some things how things can work here, right? And how things do work, right? Do you know that you can be controlled with smells? Okay. I want you to understand that, Sister Grateful One. You could be controlled through smells. You could be controlled through sounds, right? And all this is vibrations,
I agree.
right? Vibration microwaves, right? So they can take when you're in the military and you get caught by the enemy, they call it torture. They just take a water and drop it, keep dropping it on your forehead, right? It'll run you crazy. So there are things. You ever heard of acupuncture, right? With acupuncture, right? Or you can wear special shoes that touch certain nerves, right, to heal certain parts of your spine. So it's a lot of things that's in this. And some people try to come off as fancy, but they lose the people in that translation. So dealing with that, that's why we say we can't say too much, right? What the sister want to say, but I do have an understanding in where she's coming from with that. We have talked before, and she's a lot more deeper than that. Go ahead, sister. We'll give you 5 more minutes before we close out.
Thank you very much. Right. Yeah, so let me, as I say, I'll try my best not to go too deep, right? Yeah, so this can be done directly by placing of the hands on your stomach, forehead, also blowing on your nose and mouth from a close distance. Kissing and sexual intimacy, eating of offered foods or cursed foods can also cause a connection. These cursed foods go into the stomach, entering the storage point. Loose hair and cut fingernails and toenails can be used as a connection, because even after being severed, they are still cheering of cursed items like jewelry, clothing, can also cause a connection, but in order for these curses to manifest, clothing and jewelry must be worn for a lengthy time. Covering of the head, like you see, I have my head covered here. Now I have my Yahoo point opened, but that is because I'm with the body of Yah right now, so I'm like, you know, I'm already protected up. But usually we cover this point all the way here, right? Because this point is the main point. This is the point that we call, as I say, we call it the Yah point. The point where is the most holy, where we use to connect to the Almighty Creator Yah. You can find this in Deuteronomy 11 verses 18. Right?
No doubt.
For anyone who wants to probably put up the script here, right? So this is done to protect your Yahoo point, which is located at the center of your forehead, right? Between the two frontlets, right? From being seen by warlocks or demonic entities. The Yahoo point glows bright when you are spiritually connected to the Almighty Creator and dim when you are not. This glow is a high ultraviolet glow, which can't be seen by the normal eyes, but demonic and jinnish and Nephilims, entities, and warlocks mainly attack individuals whose light has been gone dim after having been bright. So this means that, okay, you fall back, like how I become shy, right? I haven't always been this type of person. I've been a very introverted person. But you see, sometimes when we call power down, when we call down mighty power onto this realm, sometimes you will find yourself like Eliasa, like Elijah. You'll find yourself becoming coward on the run, sometimes not even feeling to pray. Because when you are attacked by witches and warlocks for bringing forth mighty power on this realm, it doesn't be easy. So I had reached the point where I felt like I needed to stay away a little bit from certain spiritual battles, because I say I'm a spirit walker. I don't really battle in the flesh. You understand?
Right.
So I'm going to wrap this up by saying it is the same as if you put unhealthy foods into your digestive system or poisonous gas. So seeing that we also on the topic about the holistic health. You see, when we people eat flesh, it pulls us back down to the flesh. When we eat meat, we enter into the spiritual realm. What we were given as meat were flesh. It wasn't meat for us. So it corrupted our system. It corrupted our spiritual system. It darkened our spiritual system and helped us to be entrapped more in spiritual Egypt, wherewith we were not able to see our dreams, see our visions. And that's because that is spiritual Egypt. Spiritual Egypt, from the moment we close our eyes, we enter Egypt. We can't see nothing. But whenever you eat healthy and you partake of the right diet, or you partake of the right meats, the right flesh, nobody can say that you can't partake of the dietary law. If you want to be one like that, you can. For me, I would always say, I am one like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego for a reason, for an important season. So if you want to manifest true power, you have to elevate into the spirit, not into the flesh. We cannot be in the flesh and expect to be winning spiritual battles. So it can kill or shorten your lifespan. The same can be said about your spiritual system. An unclean spiritual system can cause you a shorter lifespan, sickness, and negative changes in your emotions and mental instability, which leads to insanity. Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. What you do not know can still hurt you. Protect yourself with the knowledge of the Almighty Creator. Leviticus 20 verses 7. For be ye set apart, holy, for I am your Creator. Keep yourself and your spirit clean so that you can be connected to the Almighty Creator Yahoo. So, the human spiritual system, a system that cannot be seen by the gross eye. What will we do from this point on? I will close by saying that what will we do from this point on, knowing that we are to be a spiritual body And to enter into that realm, we have to enter accordingly. There is spiritual rules that cannot be overlooked. Otherwise, we will continue to be whooped. So I'll pass back onto the mic and say, Laila Tawab, greetings from the Caribbean. And again, blessings, peace, and abundance unto the whole house. May the Almighty Creator continue.
No doubt. Let me say this, brothers and sisters. Y'all say when the sister gonna be on? Well, the sister gonna have her own show, right? She gonna go how will. She come on every week. You know, let a day of her choosing. You know, her and I, we talk. So, we're gonna make some things happen for y'all because and whether you agree or disagree, you know, it's up to you to decide. You know, and we're gonna try to figure out how to talk a little subliminal and set up a site where y'all can see some things that and I don't know what people talk about witchcraft, all that shit, but as far as dealing with certain things that might be able to help you, right? Intellectually, physically, mentally,
That's
spiritually.
Right.
You know, so understand this. We're trying to reach to a higher level of understanding the Bible and learning our history. And see, I always said this, right? I asked the question: where are our people that have the intellectual minds, the science minds? Because it seems like the only places they are is in the so-called Caucasian house, right? We can't find them, right? And where they are is in the streets. They in the streets. They in the woods. They in the trenches. They in the wilderness, right? And it's up to us to pull them out to get that understanding and knowledge that the Most High has streamed down upon us, right? And know who we spit it out to, right? See, some things that we may not understand does not mean that it cannot be understood.
That's right.
So for me, like I said, the sister that we've been talking for some time about herbs and different things like that, and it's a lot of stuff. So she's going to come on here and do a show. Most High will every week, every 2 weeks, have whatever's comfortable for her, right? And I see my brother.
Salafia, one moment, please. Thank you. I want to take the opportunity and I want to divine for you, for the entire team that is here right now, on behalf of F.O.P.E. I want to divine as a divine oracle. And I want the Almighty Creator angels that is on my left and on my right. You see, who are the eyes to see will see. But I'm going to open something. I want someone to go to some scriptures and put that scripture up. And I want to take this time and divine for us and let us see what the Spirit is saying unto us with regards to going forward, what directions also we shall take to maintain our stability on StreamYard as well too. Could somebody go to
the bar, please?
Let me give you the scriptures. Let me give you the scriptures.
And then when you're done, we're gonna let our dear sister.
I have to give you the scriptures first because I want to give the scriptures first, you see, because I don't want anybody to just say, oh my goodness, she's a witch. I'm beyond a witch, right? So I'm going to use some scriptures first, right? So you can first go to, because it has so many people still close-minded. So I would like you to first go to Romans 3:2. Okay, it says, much every way, chiefly, because that unto them were committed the oracles of Yah. An oracle, could somebody tell me what is an oracle?
Go ahead, sister.
An oracle is a divine messenger.
Okay, he just put it in fast, ain't it?
That's okay. I like what I rather go this way, you see, because you see there's going to be lookers on, so we want even the lookers on when you all post the live that they don't really have to go do research for themselves, right? Go to Hebrews chapter 5 verses 12, and it reads, for when there are times that you ought to be teachers, like I am here teaching, like you are there teaching, you have need that one teach you again, which be of the first principles of the oracles of Yah, and I become such of need of milk and not of strong meat. Oracle of Yah, you are speaking to her right now. Go to 1 Peter verses 4 and 11. It says, if any man or woman speak, let them speak as the oracle of Yah. If any man or woman minister, let them do it as the ability which Yah giveth, that Yah in all things may be glorified through Yahshua, to whom praise and dominion be, so let it be done. So I would like Elder Qanath to come back on the screen. I would like you to blow into my screen 3 times, and I would like you to ask the questions.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you right now. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Right. So I say I'm going to show you now live how God knows all and sees all. You know that saying, God knows all things, sees all things?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's going to be revealed. Anything that is going on with Queen Naphtali, she doesn't know who I am, but I've been supporting her for some time now.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that is going on within any one of our lives, within the platform, within our projects that is going forward, is going to be revealed. So Elder Qanath, before I speak, I want you to understand who also I am.
Okay.
It says that we are to be just like the Messiah and do greater things than the Messiah. So when the Messiah told the man with 1 foot to get up and walk, he just spoke it, right? That was the power of his voice alone.
Right.
Made that person pick up himself and walk. But what did people do? People said, that man is healing via the power of Beelzebub. He's a witch or a warlock, because he just speaking and people are going to do some miraculous thing. So here what the Messiah decided to do. He decided to take an element of the earth. He took some dirt. He took his own element, his own energy. He took some saliva. He mixed it together, and then he put it into a man's eye, and then the man see. So this was just to show people that he didn't just have power in his mouth, but he could have also used elements, natural elements, and also perform what we can call magic safely, right? So I'm going to just use some of these. I'm going to have you blow in the phone 3 times. Blow 3 times.
I blew.
Right. Right. So Elder Qanath and the whole team of F.O.P.E, what would you like to find? What would you like to know from the Almighty Creator? As the spirits are here with me, what would you like to know? Because everything is going to be revealed. You don't need to say too much. Just say something.
Just say something. I would like to know who put this spirit in you.
Okay, so I call upon the spirit of the great Almighty Creator, Yah, and upon my Malaks and my Malachims to witness this. I want you all to reveal unto us who has put this spirit into me.
You want me to reveal it?
Oh no, so I'm going to give you the information now.
Okay.
So I can't turn my screen around, but this is what came. Right? So I'm going to just get information for you now. Right? So
like I said, I've been told this for some time. I want y'all to see what's going on
1, 2, 3.
out here.
1. Okay. So Eddie Meji. So I'm going to give you now from the sacred oracles. I'm going to read it. So in the Bible, it was written that everything about you and about I was written before we even was born, right?
Yep.
So it says here in this story, so with the question that you asked, there is a story behind it. I'm going to read for us the story behind your question. It says that in this story, if I could share my screen,
Can we share it? No, we can't share it. Hello? Okay.
Just now. Let me try share my screen. Let me try and share my screen if I can. Let me try share my screen. There should be an option. Mirror my camera. Is mirror my camera sharing my screen?
Yeah, you gotta make her share the screen.
If you are having issues, try restarting it. Okay, what does mirror my camera mean? Oh,
I have no clue.
Oh, mirror, it's not that. Okay, no. I think it just meant that my directions is going to look different now. Okay, so I can't share my screen, right? But what I can do, because I do have you over there on my computer, right? But as I said, right now there's Malaks and Malakims here, so let's not distract them. Let me reveal what they are revealing unto us based on the question that you asked, right? Yes,
Sorry.
this is very important. Everybody who was a part of the show needs to stay on the show right now. Yes, everyone, because this is going to be revealing things that is also including each of us, even though the question is there. I want you all to pay close attention to what is being revealed. Right? So I'm going back again.
You froze up again?
The most.
Look like you froze up again. Okay, let's let Neptali over. We can't hear you right now. You may have to go in and come back out. Let me say this too. Let me say this real quick before you speak, Neptali. Shan, can you go on mute for a second? A lot of you may disagree on some of the stuff I'm doing. I want y'all to understand something, man. Y'all need to understand what's around y'all, right? How they speak, how they dress, and everything. You need to understand these things, right? And that way you'll be aware of things, all right? And you'll be able to, because the reason why I'm bringing certain things to you, because I know how things can be manipulated and be seen. And I look at, and I hope some people don't be offended. I look at with One West, it was a form to me of witchcraft, right? Because how they would hypnotize people, get you to man worship. And it's not just one, it's a lot of things, right? Where people will cast spells on you. And you need to know how to see them. And don't be afraid. Nehemiah 4:14 say, be not afraid of them, but remember the Lord. Remember the Lord. There are powers and higher powers out here that are cunning, crafty. And you need to recognize you need to know how to recognize.
Hey, Qanath.
Queen Neptali, holler at me.
Qanath.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
I want to say something real quick, right?
Okay, go ahead.
A lot of people don't know about the 6th, 7th, and 8th book of Moses. That was actually called the Book of Spells. Everything that they think that's witchcraft is not really witchcraft. People don't understand it's both sides to the coin when they use these things. Just like how Moses threw a staff down and turned to a snake. Some people will look at that like that's witchcraft. But it's both sides to what they use in magic, or what they would call magic or sorcery. You know what I'm saying? You got a good side of it, you have an evil side of it. Some people use dark forces, entities, and some use good. That's all I wanted to say.
No doubt. I don't believe in no witchcraft shit at all. I'm just gonna tell y'all right now. I don't, but I understand why people may feel that. Yeah, shalom. Now, Charlie, go ahead. Most High bless.
Yeah, so I just wanted to let me back on what Sharsham said. He kind of beat me to the punch. A lot of what is being seen and said is, we so uptight and we think everything is witchcraft and it's not. There's a lot of odd things that's happening in the New Testament. We look at what happens. I mean, the Old Testament, excuse me, not the New, but the Old Testament with the priest and, also with the fish and the removing of the demons. And I mean, just think about it. If we was to, put lamb's blood on the door, people probably wouldn't be too cool with seeing blood on people's doors.
Right.
I mean, you got to think about it. You see a lamb hanging up. I was told that the way the lamb was to be prepared was that it had to be hung upside down and his intestines.
Hold on 1 second. Qanath, you see people in the back chat. You want them on the show, or you want them to stay in the back chat?
All I see is a dust. I don't see. Who's these other people? I see that's a dust right there. That's her. I don't know, wise man. That's on here a couple times because she keep dropping out. Already added one. Wise man, I think I just keep,
No, you guys are fine. So I just wanted to tell the queen mother, Queen Vicar mother, I love to have you on my channel. I like to build with you, sis, and thank you for I respect a lot of what you're saying. Some things, I'm like, woo, about the spirit, I don't know about it. But I'm willing to sit back and listen to you though, and I like to learn, but I don't know about the spirits because I thought we were supposed to. To be communing with the spirits, though. Can you explain that, though? Like the communing with the spirits? Because I don't know we're supposed to do that.
Mm-hmm. Does you up on one side, but the other side keep you up? I'm gonna remove one because one of you are up on, and the other one is trying to connect. So let me remove that one. I believe it's this one. Okay, now
can she hear me? Because I want her to hear me because I don't think we're supposed to be communing with the spirits. I don't think we're supposed to do that.
Right. That's what can you hear, sis? Okay, hold on. I'm trying to. Neftali, you can finish talking. Would you agree with Neftali that she said? Well, it's kind of hard to say agree because she was dealing with herbals and chakras, and so I mean, if you know anything about that, please feel free to speak on.
With the chakras.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into, I read a lot of things and I'm not afraid to look into it, but a lot of things I know that it's not, like with the chakras and stuff like that. I don't see the value. When you get into the Kundalini, when you start to get into all that different stuff, I don't see why we need to deal with that. Some things I feel as though that there is a line that we should not cross. And like with the communion of the spirits, I know we're not supposed to be communing with spirits. I know people say you could test the spirits, but I don't believe that, because I believe all the spirits, it's just some things, and I don't mean any harm. I just would like to understand,
Me too. That's why I want to have her back on so we can understand it, because listen, like I said, and I could be wrong, but like I said, we're gonna continue to teach. But how can you, if you see something that you disagree with, then to stop people from following it, then you have to step to it. We didn't run away from Pharaoh. Moses went and knocked on Pharaoh's door. Tap, 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 tap. Satan, he didn't just go do any damn thing he wanted to do. He had to go to the door to the Most High and say, look, can I do it? If listen, some people go into a fight or go into something they think they understand because they think they have an advantage, right? Or they think they can win, right? But it's about what they think. Right, I lean on the Bible, and I think it's undefeated. I know it's undefeated, right? And people will try to come in and, add and take away a smooth talk, smooth tongue, and some people you may jump off the train because you're scared it's going to crash, right? But it only crash if you let somebody else drive it. You know, the bar. You want to say something now, Charlie? Let y'all go in a little bit.
I just want to say I appreciate Queen of Tally, man, for asking a tough question. You know, that's beautiful right there. You know, I do accept the dietary, the herbs that the sister was bringing out. I'm a little iffy on some of the other information.
Right.
But that's not to say that maybe she's not right in her own way. Maybe I'm just not aware of it. But but yeah, I mean, I just think that, you know, this is what you want. You want to encourage open dialogue, and then leave the decision making up to the individual, you know. So I think we're successful in doing that. That's all I wanted to bring out. Queen, you got anything?
Yeah, you know, I do appreciate the sister. You know, she's very powerful, and I actually wanted to come on and actually just, you know, I didn't want to come on and be negative. I just wanted to come on and just build with her and try to get an understanding and support her, because she said that she supported me, and I'm all about my, you know, learning as much as I can. But you know, when it's like some things though, like with the spirits, you know, I don't think that's necessary. Well, I know it's not necessary. You know, some things just are necessary, but some things, like you said, with the herbs, you know, I love herbs, and I'm trying my best to be a healer. I would love to be a healer. I love to learn as much as I can. And as far as, like, you know, knowledge of self, knowledge of you know, higher people want to get higher learning, higher information, but a lot of that is not necessary. A lot of I'm just that's just my opinion though.
Let me say this about the sister too, right? And not trying to defend anything, but I hope she can get back on. She's coming back on now. I seen where the sister live, and I'm not going to say anything about that, right? The sister's truly about loving her people, and she deals with the herbs, and
we love her too, and I love her too. I support her.
Right, she's a loving sister, and this platform, everybody don't agree with what we say either, you know. But,
trust me, I know.
Yeah, you're right. So
yes.
Yeah. They don't agree with me, and they don't agree with Naphtali. They damn sure don't agree with Naphtali. You know, but at the end of the day, man, we're gonna have that. And people always say take the bitter from the sweet, and that's what I do. I'm not going to indulge in anything dealing with anything that's dealing with other spirits for me, you know. But what I do is, some people don't have the power to abstain, you know, from things. I get it, and I don't tempt myself, right? I just don't. I never tempt myself. Like I said, I've been talking to this for some time, and she's a good person. You know, she's a good person. So some things people may not be ready for, and some things that we will disagree. You know, point blank period. But this Naphtali did have a question for you, so I'm allowed Naphtali to ask you the question once again. Go ahead, sis. Naphtali.
Yeah, first thing I want to do is pay my respects. Let you know that sis, I definitely you're bringing out some really good information in your work, and I definitely would love to work with you more if you don't mind. You know, with the herbs and everything, and the healing and the knowledge, you know, with the oracle, being an oracle. One thing I do know.
Okay, just now, 1 second before any question. Usually when a diviner divines, as I said, its spirits are really around.
Right, no doubt. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I missed what you said.
No, I understand what you're saying.
I couldn't hear. I missed it. I'm sorry, I didn't hear it. That's all.
Oh, I think the connection. I think the connection is coming in back and forth, because I was actually listening to you. I was actually listening to Queen Naphtali speak to me, but I think that the voice is going back and forth slowly now.
Yeah, we got a bad connection. But go ahead, Naphtali. She was basically interrupting, like did my dear brother. Go ahead, Naphtali.
No worries. It's all is well. Yeah, so I was just saying I definitely love the information that you're bringing out, and I love the work that you're doing, and I would love to have you on my channel if it's possible. But one thing I do want to add, though, my queen, is that the communing with the spirits, I don't think we're supposed to be doing that. Can you explain why is that okay to do?
Okay. When I say the spirits, I'm speaking about the Malaks and the Malakas. There is an army that has already been prepared for us, right? And this army has always been in the background in the sixth dimension, meaning in the unseen heavens. Those of us who are in the fifth dimension, such as myself, we have the ability to communicate and to see these beings. Not now. I'm not in this now. I'm in this since I born as a child, right? Because I'm a spirit child. I'm a spirit walker. That's who I am. I'm an old soul, just in a very young body, right? So I don't consult any spirit outside of the Almighty Creator Spirit, but it is the Almighty Creator who sends his Malak and Malakim to work with us, to guide us. But these things are already written out about us ages ago, right? This is the reason why the Bible told us that God knows all, sees all things, because there is when it says God, it's not talking about Yah, it's talking about a supreme being, a superhuman. So whenever a man, like for example, Prince is a God. He's not a mere man. He's not a mere human. He is a God, right? Why would I say he's a God? Here's why. You see, anytime you can reach to the stage on the level of prince, king, prime minister, queen of England, that means that you have shifted out of a 3D thinking in your flesh and in your emotions, and you have elevated into your divine persona, your divine queen or your divine king, right? Now, not everybody is a king or queen, because not everybody passed through a bloodline of royalty, right? So this is why I say I don't let people just go by titles, because like me, I am literally, my great grandmother is of the bloodline of the ancient queen. So I know I am of the royal bloodline of a queen. So this is maybe why also I was chosen to be a divine oracle. I am an oracle myself. So when somebody comes to me, they come to me as the oracle of Yah, because I am one of his earth malak. But I can't expose too much about myself. Reason being is because I'm also called to be a sniper for the body of Israel. Because you see, how can I say this? Okay, there are many who call themselves Queen Esther, right? Hadassah. Many want to call themselves Hadassah. I am ancient Hadassah, reincarnated, and I need not to go about saying I'm Queen Heidi. You know why? Queen Heidi, as you can see the name Heidi Queen. The reason why the name was changed from Hadassah to Heidi is because Hadassah was a queen that was favored by many different kings that was outside of Israel. Like Queen Vashti, who was not of us, but favored, she was always called on because of her beauty. But she started to get so full of ego and too high of herself, so the king decided to call upon Hadassah. But upon calling her, she was told, shh, don't let nobody know you are Israelites. You want to know why? Because Israel have divine natural abilities to see, to hear, and to actually command things, to say, wake up mountain, go down yonder, move storm, stop rain. This is the power that's supposed to be manifesting today. When I say, shut the whole world down, slap everybody in the face, he shut the whole world down in 3 days' time. You know why? Because I'm a divine oracle of Yah. So when I speak with a command and an authority. I don't speak walking as a mere woman or as a mere human, because then I will not be known as mother. I will not be known as my title and my rank. My rank is spiritual. It is never physical. That is one thing I would say. And another thing I would say is when our people see their children, other people with abilities and powers, they send them into martial arts, they send them into a school or a university. But whenever our melanated people or our African and Negro people saw their child having some sort of strange lifestyle from a young child, we often took them to see a doctor. We often said something wrong with that child. That child only telling me that something calling her name. Like, for example, me, Abaya has been calling me audibly since a child. And I will always wake up and run and go and tell my grandmother, I'm coming, thinking she was the one calling me. And she thought that it was a spirit of a zombie calling me, because you remember our foreparents did not have the access that we have today. They didn't have the abilities that we have today. So most time whenever you go and you tell somebody, you calling me, they would say, I wasn't calling you, like some demon or spirit or something calling you. So you would walk back and go your merry way, because you might just say the same thing they tell you. But I'm here to tell you all this, that my grandmother didn't know it was the Holy Ruach HaKadosh calling me. So she was just only saying a spirit calling the child, because every time the child saying somebody calling her. But you remember David was called as a child too. You remember there were those in the scriptures that were called, and then the father told him, go back inside and tell the Lord, I am here listening. Speak, Lord, speak. So I have been given that same similar scenario, where unto the babes and suckling will be given mysteries and secrets, right? But we are protected by the heavens. We are not protected by man, not even the body. We are completely protected by spirit only, whether it be the spirit on the left or the spirit on the right.
Let me interrupt for a second. And okay. So, like I said, everybody knows what this channel teaches, right? And I'm starting another channel over there so we can have them discussions, because I don't want to turn nobody off on this channel, right? I really don't. But I want people to get another side, because I just think we need to be aware. Because remember when we first talked about Hispanics, this and right? Everybody was like, oh yeah, that's right, folk. But there's other battles. There's other battles. And you have to be wise as a serpent and humble as a dove to open your eyes to see these things so you can face it. And once you face it, right, don't be afraid of it, right? And if it's off, if it's a snake, then you know how you kill a snake. You cut the head off, right? You cut the head off. So for me, if anybody disagree with her, please, respectfully, or if I'm wrong or she wrong, because me and Neftali not agreeing with her, or she may not be agreeing with us, right? This is a point that we need to see, right? To say, well, okay, you know what? Let's walk this road and let's see where it's at. Because if we see anything that's not fruitful, we squeeze it. We squeeze it. So I've been squeezing good fruit, and I've been choking out bad fruit for a long time. And I'm good at what I do. Trust me. So Neftali, I don't know if that answer was sufficient for you. If you have more you want to build with that, Nef, you can.
Oh yeah, it looks like Oracle is gonna come up here. Definitely. I'm not familiar with the Malakas. You know, I'm not. I would like to. What is the spelling on that?
Put the link in the room, somebody.
Malaka. Malaka is just for the female. The female, what we call angel, female angels. Malak is the male, right? So no, I still have to go and continue reading also though what was revealed in the sacred oracle with regards to his question though, right?
Oh,
but
okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You can finish on that. Hold on, real before you finish. Somebody put the link in the room, because Oracle, the sister, want to come on.
Right. You said because I did send it. Yeah, I did send it to you. I did send it to you in your inbox, in your messenger, but I did delete it as well. Reason being, I'm a targeted individual. I don't know if any one of you listen to New Breed, but New Breed till the world goes through a lot of things like me. Oh, right. I'm in the Caribbean. New Breed is in the United States of America. But if you want to understand anything about a targeted individual, can listen to New Breed Till the World on YouTube. Now, how can I say this as well? Let me back a little bit and slow down. You see, because Elder, with somebody like me, as I say, who is a big part of the puzzle, we need time, we need patience, and we need people who will also question not just the self, not just me, but question the Almighty Creator to receive knowledge from the Ruach HaKadosh, right? Because as I said, this is a spiritual thing. He who walks after the Spirit seeks after the Spirit. He who walks after the flesh will desire the things of the flesh. I am not there, and I am not going to come down from this level for no one, right? So I'll have to back just a little bit more, and let's go back into history a little bit. And I started the conversation before with giving some demonstration with the Messiah. When the Messiah walked the earth, being a mighty God, right? Being a mighty supreme human being, somebody who was tapping into his inner self, his inner consciousness, his divine intuition, his divine persona, right? He was able to now manifest power via, since a little child, he had authority. He was able to tell his mother and his father, listen, I am doing my father's work. That's because his inner spirit, his whole soul that existed beyond the physical body, was the one that was leading him all the places and to have the conversation he was having. But anytime we start to dwell on our emotions and listen to our inner self, we always realize we are no more longer in authority. Now, the Almighty Creator created man and woman with dominion over the face of this realm, of this earth. We were given dominion. The only time that this power was stripped away from us is the moment we allowed something else and someone else to guide us and tell us what we needed to do. So Adam and Hawa, Adam and Eve, was created perfect to have dominion and power over all things on this earth. That's point one. The second point is somebody else, something else, right? The serpent, they say, came and spoke to her. Now she having dominion and power over everything, including the serpent, allowed the serpent to have dominion over her. So she was lost of her power and her dominion and authority now. Adam, same way. When Adam ate of this fruit, his power and dominion was also stripped. So here what the Almighty Creator Yah said. He said, woman, I was taking care of you. Man, I was taking and providing for you all. You all had not to till the earth, had not to do anything but have dominion and power. You allowed this serpent to come and tell you that you can be like God when you were already like God, because God created you like him. But you listened to this little inferior one, and now he contributed to you losing your dominion. So here's what: you are no longer going to be provided for. You are going to have to wait for Adam to provide for you. And as for Adam, I'm not going to provide for him neither. Adam will go and till the earth and go and dig some yam and some cassava for himself and provide for you and provide for him. So that power that we had, where was it? But that power is still alive today. If we learn from the examples of the story before us, this power is still here today. What we need to do is walk the spiritual path, holy and acceptable, which is only a reasonable service. So I may not have the power that other people have. I am a chosen being. I am preserved from since a child via dreams, visions, inspirations, and so forth. Right? I am here now today with this voice. I didn't have this voice 5 years ago. I had a death experience live where a king was the one who was pumping my chest, crying out to the heavens, Oh, Baba, let whatever deathbed pass her by. There was a shadow standing up on my right-hand side. It was so black. It was so black. I mean, let me describe for you that kingdom. It was so black. It had the shadow that was standing next to me was black like the shadow behind me. This is a real experience I'm giving you here. And please take your time to understand. So there was a shadow standing up at my side, looking down at the earth. I want you all to keep in mind the movie Heaven is Real. That these Caucasian people made in America, Heaven is Real, and then they came out and admitted that the son was lying, that he just lied. But me, Benny Israel, when I come to say that heaven is real, it's going to be a little bit challenging. You know why? Because they have been creating falsehood so that when the true people have to come and speak of the true evidence, proof, and witness, which means to testify, it will be challenging for us. Because somebody gonna say, oh, heaven is not real, or they talk about those things before, and the Christians and them already lied. But here's where you're not talking to a Christian, you're not talking to a Muslim, you're talking to Benny Israel. So I'm gonna put the light back on. Right? So here it is. This went on in 2017, Elder. I remember briefing you about it too. So in 2017, in the midst of a gathering, I had a literal death experience where I died. They were pumping my chest. As they pumped my chest, my heart was in the spiritual realm going like this. The shadow was standing up on my right-hand side. But wait a minute. I thought they say that everything on light is on the left and the right, and everything that is on the dark is on the left. So what was this shadow doing on my right? This means that it is only through spiritual experience. Anything that is written, anything that is down here will be proven a lie because of the true spiritual experience. So this shadow was standing up on my right-hand side, looking down on the earth while my body is being pumped. And something I experienced was this. There were women moving around his body praying for me. But I only heard two of them. One of them prayed in the name of Yeshua, and one, she just prayed. She didn't say in the name of anything. She just prayed. I heard her. And the one who prayed in the name of Yeshua, I jumped. I said, Father, I said, look, that Christian woman knows knows the name of Jesus is also Yeshua. I said, I didn't know these Christians know the truth. Because mind you, it was a spiritual Baptist church I was having this death experience. So I never heard them use the name Yeshua or Yah before. Everything is always Jehovah or Jesus. So here it is now, I'm listening on. But when I turned to the right, I saw a kingdom. It was so bright, Elder and Queen. It was so bright. You see the light behind me there? The beings that was standing up in the kingdom was bright like the light behind me. And the kingdom that they were standing up in were 150 times brighter than this light. And I remember I stretched to the right. I said, Father, I know you love me and I love you too. But when I looked to my left and I saw that dark kingdom, I saw that dark kingdom with some shadow being standing up inside of it. I was like, but the kingdom of darkness want me too.
Let me interrupt for a second. Oracle, you could come on. Listen. We're gonna go back to teaching the Bible and all this, right? So I just don't. How can I put this? I just want y'all to see something, man. You know, excuse me. I just want y'all to see something that's going on. Excuse me, Oracle. I'm letting Oracle in also, but I understand the way some people may feel. Trust me, I truly get it, and I know some of y'all probably say, "Man, I can't watch no more," and you know, some of you may be intrigued. I want y'all to understand that the world does not just operate around us, and our people have different school of thoughts. And I know there's a Bible-based platform, and that's why we have more than one channel, but this is our biggest platform. And I'm not trying to bring you guys into any, let me show y'all my face here. I'm not trying to take y'all outside the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. I'm just not, okay? But it's up to you if you want to go to a higher learning or stay level. I'm not saying that what she's saying is on a higher level, right? But what I'm doing is showcasing, not to bring any dogma, right? But to give you an understanding of, wrong choice of words. Give you a third eye to see what's around you spiritually, right? What you're dealing with, right? Because a lot of times what you think you see is not what you think it is, right? And sometimes it can be good and it can be bad, right? And you need to be aware of these things, right? So I may bring stuff to you that may be very uncomfortable, and I'll start doing it on the other channel, because when I say deal with, people reach out to me and contact me on many different topics, right? So I just want to bring some of these people that reach out to me, right? And the sister left off, that she probably got cut off again. But so y'all can see what you're dealing with, and then you can know how to deal with it. Because F.O.P.E, when you turn this off, somebody walk up to you and start saying something, right? You got to know if they speaking truth or not, right? You just got to know, right? And whether she's wrong or right, you got to know. I feel you, Sister Star. I understand what you're saying, but Oracle, holler at me. Most High bless. Oh, she coming back now. Hey, all right. Yeah, like I said, we got a debate lead over there. So if somebody disagree, right, not like a little bit, but agree wholeheartedly, then we could take it to the other room and have a discussion and see who's right about the Bible. But my dear Sister Oracle, meet our Sister Hadar, Queen Most High bless. Let's.
Hey, shalom. Shalom, Queen Heidi. Am I saying that right?
She probably can't hear. Sis, can you hear?
Yeah.
She's not in this. She's not in this country, so. But go ahead.
Okay. I wanted to add on to what she was saying.
Yeah,
about...
I'm hearing. Shalom.
All right, go ahead.
Shalom alaikum to you, sis.
Okay. I wanted to add on to what she was saying about the spirits being around you or talking to you or whatever. I can say that before all of this, I experienced that as a youth, as a child. And it was scary. It wasn't like anybody calling me. I remember my parents having to move to 3 and 4 different places because they couldn't see what I was seeing. And it wasn't until later I found out, like, they're coming to one, like, I'm just shaking, just talking about this right now. My hands are just shaking.
Listen, Oracle, I just want to give you some strength while you're about to speak, because I already understand and understand where you're about to come from. So I would like to say this. I speak strength unto you. You are strong. You are mighty. You are divine. I know that even while you speak these things, it will bring back memories. But remember who you are.
Thank you. I appreciate that. My last encounter with one, it doesn't happen every day. It doesn't happen every month. It doesn't happen every year. And one that was really profound to me was in 2016. I'll never forget it. I had a brother, an older brother, that I had not seen for the better part of 10 or 15 years. It was a long time. He was sick and he was put into a hospital. They put you in the hospital when you can no longer care for yourself. And it just came to me and said, Michael. And there's only one Michael. And I called my dad. I said, well, something is up with Michael. They was like, what are you talking about? What's wrong with Michael? I was like, well, I'm not going to get nowhere with Dad. I called my brother. Hey, Michael, we need to find out what's going on with Michael. And three and a half hours away from where they thought he was.
Okay, there we go. Or you got cut off. All we heard, last thing we heard was Michael, and that was it.
Okay. I was told, it told me about Michael. And so I went into a frenzy, calling family members and telling them about Michael and what happened to me. And they made a few calls to the last place that he was, and he wasn't there. And a nurse took the extra mile to go and see, the paper trail, see what they sent him. They actually sent him 3 hours away where none of the family knew where he was because they would visit him at the center. Michael was dying. He was on his deathbed. He had done stopped eating. He stopped drinking. And they drove 3 hours to go get Michael and to bring him home. Enough time to get the family together. And my brother passed away October 27, 2016. And they found him a week before he died because he was going to be buried somewhere where we didn't know where, like he didn't have any family, because they didn't tell us when they moved him. And I don't know if I want to say thank the spirit or what, but it did tell me that my brother was on his way out, and we found him just in time because he hadn't eaten or drank. And they tell you when a person stops eating and drinking, they're on their way, to pass. And my uncle told me, he was like, we were wondering which one of y'all was going to come back. And he was like, your grandmother had this same gift. Well, I never knew my grandmother. She passed away in 86. That was before I was born. And he was like, my mother had this same gift. Don't feel ostracized. We wonder when this gift was going to come back. And that was my last encounter with, it wasn't my first, but it was my last encounter with a spirit. It told me my brother was dying. Well, it didn't tell me my brother was dying. I had to figure it out.
Right. No, I want to add a little 2 cents to this as well, right? Now, I was going to get to all of this, but something I recognize with people is this, especially those who are probably looking on in the comment section. If they cannot allow a teacher to teach without contributing to distractions or asking question upon question upon question, where we are not being able to dive deeply into the deep mysteries and secrets that has been hidden for all these years, how do you all expect people to continue to teach in humility? I talked about it earlier on. Listen, I'm of good character. I'm of righteousness. I'm here to restore righteousness. I don't have time for the chatter. I don't have time for some things. So if you all want to learn from me as a divine mother, you have to come as a student to humble yourself. Even I first am a student, then a teacher of life. But I know who I am. I can't have somebody come here to try and make me feel like I'm a little child. You're speaking to a divine mother. You're not speaking to some child, somebody who don't have literal power. And I'm trying to get my people to understand that I don't just want you all, who is also a part of the body, to just be walking in the flesh. You have to start manifesting power. You can't say that you're walking after Yah or walking after Yeshua and you don't have power. You only have power in your mouth. This thinking of Israel needs to stop. As Elder said, not everybody is going to agree with everything. Each one teach one. Iron sharpens iron. The oracle was just able to sharpen something I was trying to say to you all. And you didn't even, whoever is in the comment section, you all have to remember that I am not looking in the comment section. I'm teaching. So whoever is in the comment sections having disagreements, I'm pulling out my scriptures. I started with my foundation and I come to you all as a spirit being. I don't have to be human before you.
Hey, real quick, sis, let me interrupt for a second. Thank you. Hey, Judah Moore. I think it's the same brother that's in DC where I'm at. If so, man, drop your number in the link. I think Sham have it, man, because I be hanging. I'm sorry, it's just a little bit, but I want you to hang out with you a little bit, man. You know, it's rare I get to hang out with people that be on my chat. You know what I mean? So yeah, drop that number. So look, this is what we're going to do.
Can I add something?
Yeah, cut. Oracle, yes, yeah, go ahead, Oracle. Yeah, let's let you roll.
I want to. That was just one scenario. Since we're talking, like, people don't have to believe that it's real or it's not real. I mean, this is an age-old debate. Are we alone or are we not? People have always talked about this, but few get to experience. I would say it's a blessing and a curse because, you know, I would be fine. I would be great if I didn't have to wake up and see somebody there and try to explain to the next person. And then you get locked up in a loony bin for 6 months, which where I was, that's what he put me. You know, life would be great not to see those things. And I remember going to visit I went to visit one of my older brothers in prison. And I was younger, probably was like 13. And the prison had so much noise. It was like clatter and people screaming and hollering. And I had to put my hands over my ears. And I'm looking at the people and they're just sitting there like eating, chatting. And I'm like, they don't hear this noise. And I'm like, I'm looking around trying to see if people hear what I hear, like clatter, a lot of noise. And I could even sit there. I just could not sit there. And fast forward, something told me to go online and to research something. And I did. Come to find out, the prison was actually a plantation farm. It was called the farm. It still is called the farm to this day. And what I was hearing were the riots. And I read about the riots and the America's bloodiest prison with the history. I wasn't hearing what was happening in the lunchroom where you go and visit. I was hearing something that happened there hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And I didn't understand it, and I have not been back since. I've tried to explain to him why I don't go back, but trying to explain to somebody what they don't see and what they don't hear, it's hard, you know, so they don't have to believe it.
But Oracle, I'm sorry, there's something you struck at me when you said, when you heard things, right? Pardon me, I'm eating M&M's. I'm sorry, but my wife and I, we went on this boat ride yesterday evening with my sister, and it was a historical boat ride through Washington D.C., and it's supposed to take you all the way back to the 1600s. And after a certain amount of, you know, yards or whatever you call it, they say, okay, 18 this and 17 this, and they give you a history. And you will see things on the way going through this water. And listen, y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. I'm not making this up. What I'm about to tell you. As I was going through that water, I was like, damn, you know, it's like I was feeling something. And I looked and I said, the lady was talking. I said, what is that right there? And the lady looked and she said, wow, you're the first one said something about that. And she said, I'm about to speak on it. And she started speaking on it, and she was talking about slaves, right? And she was talking about how they used to have to pull the boat through the canal, right, Yashua? Pull a boat through the canal and they was reenacting it. And they used mules. And as we going through this, because I had no idea what this was about. I'm thinking, you know, it's a little romantic, whatever. And it felt like I felt them people pain.
Yes.
Okay, and I can't. That's it. I can't describe it. I was like, damn. So my brother-in-law, I had to calm him down. Did I not have to calm him down? Yes. Speak up. They didn't come. You have to get on camera, right? Because I'm gonna tell y'all something. This just happened yesterday, right? Now I'm not dealing with y'all tomorrow. which I'm just talking about this is happening, y'all. So, that's like taboo. Right? Come right here, sweetheart. It's great. You gotta get in the camera if you don't want to. So what do we have to do to our brother-in-law? Because what was the lady saying and what got into him?
We had to calm him down because the lady who was narrating the tour, she was very passionate. She was very animated. She was really, really good at telling the story. However, she was telling it from the perspective from which she was told the story. So there's a portion of the story where she was talking about how there were children who would have to go behind the mules to make the mules go down the canal to help pull the boat. And the children would, this is the story she told, didn't want the children's shoes to get dirty from the mule manure. So the children would walk in barefoot in the mule manure to get the mules to walk down the canal to pull the boat. However, when she was telling the story, she made it sound like these were
little white kids,
immigrant children doing it.
Right.
And of course, my brother-in-law went completely off because he was like, of course, they were, of course, black children.
They were black
walking
children
through manure in their bare feet.
And we on this boat with these white people, and she would use words like skinners. She said you had the migrants work with the skinners. And she made a mistake because she used one word. She said they would come and work on the Anna River. And she said, do y'all know what that means? I know what it meant. It's short for Anacostia River. So when she said they would work with the Finnish or whatever, that was short for they was working with the little nigger children, right? So as we going through this thing, and the way they had it, the water would rise, the boat would rise up off the water, and the mules, and they actually had the men pulling it. I had no idea what this was about, neither one of us. And this really moved me. And I would say 6 months ago, my wife and I was walking in Alexandria, and I'm gonna let both of you guys back in. And as we walk, we saw a little crowd, and I was like, "Damn, it feels cold." And then this is not 6 months ago; it was still warm.
It was just last month.
Last month? Well, I say 6 months ago, 7 months ago.
It might have been 2 months ago.
2 months ago.
This is September, so it's probably July.
Yeah, July. But it was cold. As I'm walking past, like, damn, you feel that breeze? It was like maybe 40, 50 people outside, and it was hot. And we got cold. And they were out, all these people gathered around, and guess what they was gathered around talking about? They was talking about how these young boys and men was hung on this tree, and we were standing right by the damn tree. Okay?
Wow.
So we standing right by the tree. Now, I don't want to get emotional, right? So, but we standing right by the damn tree, and I'm like, what the? And here's the thing that bothered me. They try to turn this into an LGBT, whatever, AHI, whatever they want to call these alphabet things, right? Without saying it. Equal rights and all this. And the police officers, which was Caucasians, got upset. They were upset, right? Talk about, man, these people were brutally murdered. And I'm telling y'all, you can actually feel it. You can feel it. Okay, so certain things does deal with on another level. Like I know people went to Ghana and they had to go through the house of no return in many different places in Africa, and they said they could feel the spirit, they could smell it.
Well, I can give you a testimony. I told you so before.
Okay, let you go ahead and let them back in, and I'm gonna close out. Go ahead. I
was going to a certain part of Maryland with my cousin.
Talk about
years ago.
Thank you.
This was years ago, so many years ago, with my cousin, and we were going to a certain part of Maryland with her boyfriend.
You say hi.
And
wait, say hi. Say hi.
Hello. I'm not going to say the sister spirit is so lovely. Thank you. You see what just went on there. I just want to say this though. Elder Qanath just received my telecommunication. If he didn't even know it, I just was like doing this, and I was like, tell her to say hi.
That's fantastic. So I was going with my cousin and her boyfriend just for a ride up to Maryland, and it was like 45 minutes from where we were. We got to this area and got the car, and I started to feel really nervous, and I couldn't understand within myself why I was nervous. And we were by water, and the closer I got to the water, I just started getting nervous and afraid, and I started shaking, and I started crying the closer I got to the water. And my cousin looked at me and she's like, "What's the matter?" And I said, I don't know. I said, "I don't know what's the matter with me." I said, "I'm just so afraid. I've never been to this place ever in my life, and I couldn't understand why I was." And when I got, and I was crying and crying and crying. When I got to the edge, I saw the plaque, and that's where they said that our ancestors were brought in off the slave ships.
See that? Yeah.
Wow.
But you
It's
know what?
like
Before y'all go in, I want y'all to understand something, right? And I hope we don't lose no so-called fanfare, but if we do, so be it, right? But y'all cannot tell me that y'all haven't had conversations like this before, you know. And I'm just being, one thing I say about me. I say this about me. I try to be truthful and honest, right? And coming to y'all, right? I'm an open book. Right, I believe in Genesis to Revelation. My teaching has not changed. Right, I just bring people on this platform with a different school of thought. Naphtali has a different school of thought in a lot of manners, but guess what? A lot of people went against it, but a lot of people say, "You know what? Oh, damn, she's right." Right, I came on this platform, right, because y'all saw me through One West, but I had the courage through the power of the Most High to say, "You know what?" Me and Shashem say, "You know what? Let's challenge this." Right. And some say, "You know what? Boom, y'all right." Right. So what I'm saying in essence is that this have an ear, you know, but also this way you will have understanding. If you think this sister's off, then you say, "Well, you know what? I don't like that." And here go a tool I can see, well, not a tool, but this is a warning. Or you can say, "You know what? Let me look into that." Right. That's only up to you. Right. If your spirit not strong enough, right? I get it. So I'm gonna slice this video in half so I could, because the video was about my dear brother. It was his interview, but I had to bring other people on. This, when I slice it in half, it's just gonna be the sister, you know. But I'm gonna let y'all get a closing statement. I've been on 3.5 hours. We got many more videos come up. I keep saying I'm gonna do a class. I'm gonna do a class. And then a lot of this type of stuff, if y'all not ready for it, we'll take it to the other channel. I just want to give y'all something different other than the Hispanics, not the Israelites. The chart is off, right? I want to give you something more than that to elevate your mind, right, to a higher conscious of thinking, right, and also a revolution, right, not only in your mind, but through action. Through action, not only in the words you speak, but through action, right? In action, right? So that's what I'm about. I'm gonna prove it, right? Not to you, none of you. You gotta prove it to none of y'all. Y'all ain't gotta prove it to me, right? This is something I gotta do for myself, right? A calling for me. You know, I love all of y'all. You know what I mean? But this walk is how you make it. How you make it. And I don't know how y'all feel when y'all step outside every day. I don't feel like I'm a part of this world. I just don't. When I walk, wherever I go, I don't feel like I'm a part of the world. I'm in it. I know how to live in it. I'm gonna tell you what we did. I'm gonna let y'all get the final word. I promise. I said, "You know what?" She said, "Well," I said, "I'm gonna take you somewhere today." So I took my wife to a place where nobody goes, way back in the woods, and we walking and walking and walking. She said, "What's back here?" Right? I said, "You will see. It's a private beach." Right? Private beach back there. And we walking, going up and down hills, and had to walk past this little cliff. It's like, where the hell am I at? I said, "Guess what? If something happened, nobody knows we back here. We'll die back here. We fall down this cliff." Right? We're explorers of the mind and the body and the spirit, man. And we went there. We stayed like what 30 minutes, and then we left, right? And then we said, let's walk down this hill. We walked down there, you know, got bit by ants and everything, but we did it. You know what I mean? So explore your mind. Explore your mind. I don't know if y'all ready for this, you know. So we'll take to another channel. We'll keep our Bible teaching over here. But any friends I lost or people who saying I'm going to freak off, well, what you gonna do tomorrow? My mind is a working mind. Right? That's what I'm at in mind. So, sisters, I'm gonna let y'all build a little bit to get the final word, and then I'm gonna chop it up a little later. And sister, I'll make sure I call you. But Oracle, y'all go ahead and speak on a little bit. Get y'all like 7 minutes or whatever to speak, and then we're gonna close it out. Whatever y'all want to talk about.
I'm just excited that it's like you don't have to be on the island by yourself no more. It's like, okay, other people are having this experience too. Because it's like it's taboo. Like if you say, oh, look at the old man in the corner with the tall hat on and nobody sees it, oh, you're just crazy. That's it. You're just crazy. It's not really there. Have you been getting sleep? What drugs are you on? So it's nice to see somebody that's having or have had the same experience. Like, and I wanted to ask the sister, does she have like sensory overload when it happens? Because I get this almost fainting spell. Like it's like there's no air in the room.
Pause right there. Pause right there. I don't even need to hear. I already know what you're talking about. So, okay. I now see why I'll have to have my own show too, because you see, these is things I can't just be rushed down to talk about it. I have been in spiritual bondage for over 25 years where I was not able to speak. I grew up preserved for this time and this season for a special purpose. Anything that comes out my mouth will help somebody somewhere, because a lot has been stored inside of me via visions, dreams, and experiences. Anything that you can open your mouth to tell me about your spiritual experience, I would just say better you just listen to me so you can get closure, so you can get the divine knowledge and wisdom based on these mysteries and secrets. Who have the ears to hear what the Spirit is saying unto them will hear, and who have the spiritual eyes to see will see that which the Spirit is showing unto them. Now, the reason why I said that I didn't want to come onto platforms like this and be distracted is because I literally just came out of that experience. I am resurrected into eternal life. Nobody can challenge me with that. I come back here with a mission. I came back here with a warning. 1 Epistle John, 1 Luke, and also in the Torah. So while I'm here also to help bring some closure to certain mysteries and secrets. Unto the babes and sucklings was these things given. Now, not everybody is a babe and suckling. Not everybody is a chosen. Many are called, few are chosen, and plenty frozen. Because the fact that religion has stumbled us. Christianity stumbled us. False doctrine, false information stumbled us. Because every time somebody give you a certain doctrine and it doesn't really help bring forth clarity towards your reality, it will stumble you. It will make you bounce your foot on a stone. So I am here to reveal the knowledge and mysteries that people have not really been able to hear. Don't you all know that half of the things comes out my mouth, you can get your debt for it? When you join a secret society like Illuminati, Ifa Orisha, Hoodoo, Santa Maria, when you join secret societies and you know their secrets and you leave, there is one way out, death. They would either do witchcraft on you where you go mad on the streets, crazy. Somebody may rob you, beat you, you can't talk anymore, you can't see properly. The enemy will go all far ends to make sure his secrets is not revealed. But somebody commented in the chat and started to say that Israel was the mysteries. Yes, that is truth. Israel is the house of mysteries. Those of us who have been qualified, because you have to walk a certain particular walk and walk in the spiritual realm, be protected and guided by spirit guardians in order to receive. So that's why they say study to show yourself approved, so that you can actually speak. Like, for example, who can challenge Naphtali's school of thought? No one can challenge her. You know why? Because she has studied to show herself approved, to prove that which it is she believes, that which it is she teaches. She studied to the point that she has her information well. And it goes for anybody else. You have to study to show yourself approved. But not everybody is going to just have surface knowledge or book knowledge. Some of us come with the knowledge of the divine mysteries and secrets, right? So going back on also, I have an entire story. I was supposed to be a dead child. That's why I'm called a spirit child, a spirit walker, right? So I was one that, you know, when people do rituals to receive riches, they usually sacrifice a child or the spirit of their mother. So I'm a victim of that. My own biological mother also tried to kill me as a baby because of the things that she was going through. And as a baby, she ran and left me on the altar in somebody's church because she didn't know what this child was, who this child was, where she get this child from. Because you remember, we are always told, we make the child, but we don't make the mind. She may have made me by the womb, but I do not belong to her. I was sent here for a special reason. So let's go back now into the spirit talk. So from a child, I always saw spirits. I saw them standing up around the corner in the room. I saw them hovering over me. And you see, it's because I was light, born in the midst of darkness, right? Some of us are light, born in the midst of darkness. What do I mean by that? Okay, let's take our time. I know the show is going to finish just now, but this thing cannot be rushed. So my biological mother, she was jealous by her sister. Her sister and her had different fathers. My biological mother's father lives in Texas in America, right? But her sister's father also is an American, but her sister was a big fat woman. My biological mother is a woman that looks like if she's my age today. She looks very young, she's slim, and she's more, you could say, from the bloodline of Israelite, while her sister was more on Ham side because of her sister's father. So her sister jealoused my biological mother, because my biological mother, a lot of men liked her. So what did my biological mother's sister do? My biological mother's sister went and do juju, which is called black magic. And she went and she sacrificed my spirit, my destiny, by taking me away from my biological mother and doing hoodoo. And in that particular hoodoo practice she did, she would have, as I say, sold my destiny as a child, even my name, and give it unto her unborn child. So I grew up now being sold to the spirits that she sold me to. So I didn't know Yah. Even though his spirit was always guiding me, I didn't know him, because other spirits was also placed to protect me. So from a child, I always was guided by spirits, different signals. The only signal that came very audibly with a soft voice was a masculine voice. And then I was always guided from a child by a feminine voice. Now, even most of you men, I'm sure if you track back to your childhood, the voice that guided you is feminine. I didn't say female, I say feminine. Because the creative power that is masculine and feminine, the feminine power is what creates life. The feminine power is what also we call the spirit of wisdom. This feminine power has been altered, distracted, and messed up throughout history, especially in the African and melanated race. So when wisdom was not being able to speak and be heard, eventually melanated women became angry, became upset, became hurt and bitter because we were not able to speak the truth and the wisdom that we have. We were created with an ability to see beyond the masculine energy. The masculine energy was created with a natural ability to know. You all brothers, you all know things that you all don't even need to experience. You all just know. Because that's how you created, to know. But knowledge and wisdom has to become one. They have to come together. Again, as I tell you, Adam and Eve was created together to have dominion, to fulfill a mission and a purpose on the earth. We have to correct it now and have to shift away all the errors and the darkness and bring forth the positivity and the right via the examples before us. So going on again, could you, someone of you, remind me which one of the brothers in the Bible was the one? Was it Joseph? Somebody was constantly being called by the Spirit to tell him, I didn't call you, but go back inside and say next time, speak, Lord, your child is listening. So we all are receiving signals. Yes, we are. But we have to know where the signal coming from. And our ancestors did not understand where their signals was coming from. So every time somebody tell them or they hear something, they quick to say some demon or zombie was talking, but because that's what religiosity has made them think. Because you remember the Japhet, Moabites, the Caucasian, and many people, even Egypt, was made to put our people down, to make our people feel that we don't have a connection with the Almighty Creator. Even in mainstream Islam, they teach that. They teach that Allah don't talk to nobody, right? So that is all to make people feel that the divine spirits do not communicate or guide us, which they do. Go ahead, Elder.
Yes. Oracle, can you come back on? Because I want to end the show, but I want to talk to you and the sister when the show is over.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I wanted her to come back in the show too. I don't know if she's in the chat or anything like that, but I know I'm talking because there is some things that she actually, will benefit from on this conversation.
I would like for you to come back in so when I close the show out, the three of us be on and we could talk behind the scenes. But I'm gonna end it right now since I'm gonna give you a minute to close out. But let me say this real quick. The sister can tell you we've been talking for a while, right? But it's been every blue moon, but we would talk. I mean, over a year, right? And it's a lot of stuff that I keep under my hat, because I just don't think people are ready for certain things. Yeah, or come back in the room.
Spiritual being having a spiritual experience. That's good. Yes. Grateful, great. I'm not sorry about that, but I'm.
Okay, yeah, we having technical difficulties for some reason. Well, I already know why. A lot of y'all saying it's the spirits and all that. I get it, but right now, Earth is under attack by the sun. Oh, damn, Qanath lost his damn mind. Just start looking at it, man. Right now, the Earth is shooting a lot of gamma rays or microwaves at us, right? And
sorry about that, Elder.
So internet, a lot of times your internet is gonna be messed up because, especially in America, because the sun is shooting a lot of is having massive storms before that. They said they can't remember. I can say never happened, but we can't remember or record it. Sending these microwaves toward the sun is messing up a lot of stuff, and crazy. But let me say this before she's about to come back on before we close out, is that I don't know a lot of y'all that's know how to take the bitter from the sweet, and what you don't understand, investigate it, and you'll know what's been put in front of you. Put it that way. You'll know what's been put in front of you, and now you actually seen it on YouTube. So if you ever run into it in person, now you will have the understanding to say, I'm not dealing with that, or I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. So that's why I am. So don't put nothing on Qanath. I'm here to bring information to our people, not to sidetrack you over here, sidetrack you over there, because the scriptures say, study show thyself approved unto the Most High, not unto man. Right? So to try to get that understanding, and it's a lot more, right? And Neftali, you know, her and I just got off the phone, and she gets it. She gets it. So, brother Yassi said, Shalom, keep pushing her off. Pay attention.
Yeah, not just only that. Something I actually wanted to say, and I saw somebody put it into the chat group there, and is this. I just didn't want to make the statement because as I said, this is a platform where not everybody is open-minded or spiritual, but we are all here as spirit beings sent onto this earth to have experience. Whether the experiences are good, bad, or ugly, we are spirit beings sent to this earth in a human vessel to have experience down here. Some of us came from the left side, some of us came from the right side. Some of us came to have compassion and love to make the world a better place. Some of us came with a manipulating and a controlling force to make the place in chaos. But we are all here sent to experience life. And when we're going back, we need to know where we come from and where we're going. Because it's now time to separate.
No doubt. And listen, she used the word chaos, and I always say this, and I didn't bring this up. I mean, I've heard this before too. But chaos brings order, right? Yes. Chaos brings order, right? Because fire, when you think about fire, when it burns, right, it wipes out everything. But now everything starts over. You get a new growth.
Starts anew, yes.
Right. So chaos storms, right? It knocks out everything, but it creates what? A lot of life.
It's like this. Let me add a little demonstration for you. It's like you take you boil an egg and you put the egg in the pot. When that pot starts to rustle that hot water, that's chaos right there. Right. But the chaos cooks the egg. Right. So out of chaos comes still life, and still comes something that we can eat. Right.
So what I'm gonna bring I'm gonna bring a lot of stuff to y'all, man. And I don't know, man. I just hope I don't lose y'all as a family, man. I'm bringing a little chaos to y'all so we can get some order.
No, I think that let me just also say this. I think for your lookers on, what they need to understand, you are not responsible for any other person's personal experience, life, or spiritual path. You are just the elder who are, just as you say, bringing on people. So no one in this platform, I think I will hold it against you all if anybody choose to underestimate and underrate Elder Qanath because he has people that has different experiences. If he has us here, it's because he already understand and overstand something that we share. He's not going to come here to lead you all into confusion. So you all got to take what you all can take and leave what you leave. What is too heavy for you, you leave it. There is a circle inside of the circle, inside of the circle, inside of the circle. And not everybody is going to understand certain levels. Let me break it down like a child. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you know that before 0 became 1, 0 was just 0, but number 5 could look down on number 0 and also know that number 5 had to come from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 3 can tell you what number 2 had to do to get there, but number 3 could only show off on anybody beneath them. Number 3 could tell number 2, I know more than you, but could number 3 tell number 2 that I know what number 4 and number 5 can do? No, this is why we call different degrees, different levels. So please, people, it is not about bringing separation. Let us have big people talk. Let us bring togetherness. Let us try a little bit of this and try a little bit of that. Israel don't need no drama in a negative way. This is to bring our people together. This is to bring the wholeness. The wholeness is a holistic health, holistic spirituality, holistic knowledge in righteousness.
Right, right. And the holistic part, I'm telling y'all, man, we've been attacked. I just put that way. We've been attacked, and you gotta learn your body, right? All of our bodies not the same. You know, I'm gonna tell you, where you're born at, you need to find out. You need to research all that, because where you're born at, a lot of times that's where your body makeup is. That's where your body makeup is, and the very trees and everything, and the water, right? That's why now I'm gonna tell y'all something. I keep on saying I'm gonna get off here, and I know you just came back with Oracle. If you live in the city and go to the country, or if you live in the country and go to the city, but if you live in the city and go to the country and drink the country water, you will get sick sometime, right? Because we drink the faucet water. Or if you live in the country and go to the city and drink the city water, you will get sick. Just like you will go to another country from America, go to another country or island, or they come here to America and drink the water. You will get sick. And you know why? It's because a lot of times you are made up of them elements where you came from, what you're used to taking in your body. And your body's used to a certain thing. So what I'm bringing to you is trying to clean up the poisons that's in your body that you're used to mentally, physically, emotionally, right? We cry a lot. We complain a lot. We're afraid. We're afraid, right? People say, how in the hell do people go to Demona? How do you go to Africa? How do you do this? Why, or why other people not doing it? A lot of times it's not because they don't have the money, right? They may not have the experience, right? But what's holding them is fear. It's fear.
Yeah.
So stop
No means to
fearing
interject.
everything that seems spooky. And like I said, take the bitter with the sweet, right? And get an understanding where you come from. Go ahead.
Salafia. I just again clicked the phone. Now remember I told you all earlier on that my computer is not what I'm using. I'm using my phone, right? So I'm also not using internet nor data. I'm using a telecommunication skill to be online. And I'm also using a smartphone. So every time I press certain parts, because it's first time I'm on the platform, I will automatically press some wrong things and come out from the whole entire Google page. So for that little heifer, that man who is in the chat group calling me a witch, listen, I'm not offended by that. They call the Messiah a witch too. And I already talked in the show earlier on of what that sounds like. You see, when you have natural divine abilities and power, they would call you a witch. They would call you a warlock. They did the same thing to Moses as well. Right? But when people see who you are, when they realize that you are not who they are, you have to stay in your lane. I will not allow your ignorance and childish behavior to pull me down. You don't know who I am. I don't have to be available right now, but the Almighty Creator made it still possible that I'm available to share forth with regards to good character, health. There is not one thing I said on this show that is negative or wrong. That's one. And anything that I said, I could back it up. And you see, our people don't like order, Elder. Our people don't like order. And I'm a woman of order. When I start the show, I open the show with prayer. And when the show will close, I will also end the show with prayer in the name of Yah. This is my problem, as I told you, with the Israelites. I started off, you brought me on the show to talk about the good character. And when you look at what these brothers and them are even speaking or saying, what about when people have to look onto the show and read the comment section. You think anybody will want to listen to you? You have a stinking thinking. And this is what I came on the show today to talk about. To talk about the character of our people. You don't talk about people like that. You don't talk about your own body like that. You don't do things like that. You don't know who I am. Come on. We know that these are examples before us. There are these things already spoken about before us. They call the Messiah witch. So why would you think that you should be in a chat group trying to call me a witch because you saw that the internet connection dropped sometimes so that my finger touched something and it come off the phone? Come on. You are having a stinking thinking. But regardless of what, I don't know you and you don't know me, but blessed I have us still. I still love you. I still fight spiritual battles for you. But don't make the spiritual battles more harder for me because you're not in the spiritual realm.
All right, sis.
So,
Hey, look,
Qanath,
no,
go ahead.
that's fine. That's fine. I'm gonna let you close out in prayer because I want to talk to you on Oracle.
Yeah, I want to close off in prayer first, right? Now I usually pray obligatory, but seeing I'm holding my phone, I won't be able to go down on my knees, right? But for the enlightenment of Yah's wisdom and creativity, allowing us to see the limitations of man without the Almighty Creator, Yah divine intervention. So let me just put my phone a bit here and let me just close off the show with prayer. In the name of the Almighty Creator, Yah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Almighty Creator, Yah, your daughter comes before you covered in spirit and in truth. And even though there may be 10,000 on my left-hand side and on my right-hand side, we don't mind having enemies. We don't mind having secret enemies. But we want forth only your people and your people who come in together to make themselves into better version of themselves. O true ruler and master, we humble ourselves before you. Open our eyes and enlighten us with your ability to discern spiritual entities unseen to the physical eyes. Let not the deception of those evil spirits disguise our vision or confuse our discernment when making judgments or analysis of invisible combats. Remove the spirit of pride and ego as well as confrontation so that we will be able to rely on your strength and your spiritual ability during battles that awaits us. Teach us, Almighty Creator, Yah, to be precise as well as accurate when making decisions towards our adversaries. Teach us to retain the information you are placing in our spirit so that we shall be able to execute righteous judgments without wavering or confusion in your name. May we rely on your Ruach HaKadosh to lead and to combat and to communicate and give information as we decrease and you increase in us, revealing truth, pure ha'emet, and destroying our counterparts, leaving the army of darkness defenseless and defeated. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. That doesn't sound like witchcraft to me. That's my prayer to the Most High for us. So we may disagreements, but at the end of the day, we got love. And like you said, it's just we was talking offline, and you did a great job. All right, you did a great job. Don't pay attention too much to the comment board. Okay, that's a warning. You've been watching this for years because sometimes people may say things you disagree with, but I love everybody in my comments. Like Star Lima and those my moderators, they're gonna always be my sisters. I back them 100%. And I love all of y'all. And I would say before we call each other names and everything, let's just try to have a better understanding or understanding one another. That's it. At the end of the day, we may be going back and forth on belief, but they're not arguing like that. They planning. They are 20 years already counting. They like 10, 20 years on how they see us being already. They mapped it all out through school, education, everything, religion, you name it. And a lot of times we just walking right down the aisle what they want us to do. So let's open your eyes up, man, your ears up. I hope I didn't turn some of you off. We will be taken to our other channel also, but you have to know what's around you, man. You have to know what's around you. So with that, y'all two don't go nowhere. I'm gonna close the show out. Most High bless everybody, man. F.O.P.E. for our people. Edification. Peace and love. Most High bless. Been in the show.
Shalom.
All right, shalom, shalom. Hold on.